wanna change the world. I just want the perfect girl. I don't wanna hang around, I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. I just wanna change the world, but I'm not gonna wait my turn. I don't ever want to come down, I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. It's about you. I would never be alone again. I'm immune to the things they said. My heart's unbreaking. Your radiant truth. I know that you will understand, because I finally found myself. My heart's unbreaking. Your radiant. You're radiant.
Yo, 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 yo! Let's go, how we doing? What up? Your late start, baby, late start.
I'm okay. You're alright, goodbye. Then if you dare, someone new is pulling everywhere.
Hit that like button. Fucking click that like button. Bang that shit.
Nothing is what I think I would drown in.
Let's go. Oh, 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 oh. Sorry, dude. Got a little bit of a late start tonight. Cling to what you're given. Nothing is what I say. I feel far away. Nothing is what I think. I will drown in pink. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh, oh, 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 oh. Ooh, oh, 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 oh. Ooh, oh, 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 oh. Let's go.
Paint away.
Day and night, 6 hearts, hope I'm okay.
You're alright, goodbye. And if you dare, someone new is pulling everywhere. I'm afraid to let them. Nothing is what I say. I feel far away.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Nothing is what I think. I will drown in pink. Yeah, 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 yeah. Nothing is what I say. I feel far away. Nothing is what I think. I will drown in pink. Nothing is what I say. I feel far away. Nothing is what I think. Nothing is what I think.
Yeah, 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 yeah. 'Cause I will drown in pink. Oh, 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 oh. Let's go. Ooh. First off, I noticed the sign is like fucked up. There we go. It should be on that one. That's for starters. One notch above the bottom. Got to fix the sign. Let's go. Dude, so what is this? What is this shit, dude? A Texas millionaire died after being gored by a Cape buffalo? Dude, what are we doing, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? I mean, dude, these big game hunters, like, really? This guy's like walking around with a fucking mountain lion and shit. What a bunch of assholes. Seriously, these guys that try to kill these fucking like animals for no fucking reason. I love that fucking Cape buffalo, bro. Here's big money on the fucking buffalo. Thank you very much. I'm serious, dude. These like, look at this picture. What the fuck, dude? Why is this guy hunting a fucking mountain lion? Seriously, this guy's a millionaire, okay? And he's out there hunting fucking mountain lions, right? It's fucking so dumb. It's so dumb, bro. You know? Dude. All I can say is when I go to Africa and I'm going to take some Cape buffaloes out to dinner, dude. Seriously. This shit is just kind of dumb, man. You know what I mean? It's kind of ridiculous. You know? Dude, he was stalking a buffalo on safari and he got jacked. All right. Let's go, dude. There you go, man. Next time, fuck around and find out, dude. Right? Dude, Cape Buffalo 1, MAGA 0. All right? 1-0. Oh, shit. Let's go, dude. Is he a goner? Yeah, no, he's dead. He's dead. I don't want to laugh at a guy's death because it sucks. You know, it's tragic to die at 52 or whatever. But the fact that these people, I don't like big game hunters, guys. I don't. I find big game hunting to be one of the more asshole-ish things on the planet. I mean, we have a lot of problems with animal hunting as it is. Like, I get it that we've taken a place on the food chain and we raise animals to be food for the subsistence of the population. I totally get that. But like big game, these animals are not created for food. They're out there just doing their shit. They're not doing anything. Many of them are extinct. There are people out there, you know, we've had problems with people like hunting rhinos and all that shit for the horns. I mean, just a lot of, it's so gross, dude, because you know what it is? What I find gross about it, guys, is it goes back to those shitty power dynamics. It is like human beings. It's not enough for us to dominate the air, the sea, the land, the atmosphere. We have satellites. Like, we just have to exert our dominance over everything. You know what I'm saying? We have to exert our dominance over everything. And I really fucking, it's really problematic to me, you know, and I just don't like it. I don't like it. So as a kid, I used to fish, but like I fished partially because we were like really poor. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't fishing for sport. I was fishing to like acquire food, you know what I mean? To supplement so we, you know, didn't have to just eat the fucking same like welfare meals over and over again. But then, you know, by the time I was a teenager and shit, and we were in better financial circumstances, you know what I'm saying? I didn't fish anymore either. You know, I wasn't out there like game fishing and shit, you know, and like, I don't know, man. I've just never really liked the big game because some of these animals are just really special. You know, like look at the Cape buffalo. Like, why would you want to fucking kill one of those? You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck did the Cape buffalo do to anybody? And especially like killing buffalo, that to me really pisses me off because this guy's an American, okay? And this guy should know, dude, privacy, let's go, baby. Dude, this guy should know as an American, like the killing of buffalo in particular in America is like super toxic. I mean, that's literally what we did to the native populations. We came in here, we took their land, we forced them further and further west. And then eventually they're like, you know what? We want to clear the prairies and we don't have enough manpower to do it. So you know what we did? We literally just killed like millions of buffalo. We killed their food supply and just burned them. Like all those animals just dead for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, that's so toxic. Like altering the fucking, the ecological course of like middle America, you know? So brutal, dude. That shit is like brutal, man. It's so dumb, dude. It's so like awful, you know? You know what I mean? It's with heavy heart you inform us that Ted Nugent is still alive. Dude, yeah, no, I saw a post like that the other day about Logan Paul that said, what, right? Did you see that? I posted it. It's pretty funny. The Logan Paul one, where it was like, oh, dude, there it is. It says heartbreaking. Logan Paul found alive, 29 years old. Oh shit! Found alive. Oh, that's hilarious, dude. That's so funny. Yeah, man. I don't know. I guess I don't get the big game hunting thing. I feel, you know, I feel really bad that I don't know. It feels like unnecessary for us to do that shit. But so yeah, that's actually all right. It's kind of good news. Let's see a little bit of the trending shit here. Oh my God, did you guys see this? I don't know if you saw this. Did you see this fight? Okay, so remember, we got to look at this because this is hilarious. This is the TPUSA crowd. This is the young, like millennial and Gen Z influencers on the right wing. I don't know if you guys saw this, but do you remember like 2 nights ago or whatever, we watched a 𝗙𝗟𝗏𝗧𝗏 clip, 𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏, okay? Remember? And I was like, oh my God, I haven't seen any of her content in forever, which is not a bad thing, mind you, okay? It's only a blessing to not see 𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏's fucking terrible fucking content. Her content is like the lowest grade shit. But so they're at war today, okay? They're at war, and it started with that white supremacist girl, Sarah Stock. You remember her? She was the white supremacist girl that was on Jubilee. That was just a total like white supremacist degenerate from a while ago, Sarah Stock. So she posted a picture of her wedding ring. All right, her hand. She's like getting married. And then these women, these TPUSA women just started going ape shit on one another. Like crazy shit. It was Morgan Ariel. Okay, I actually made a video that had her in it, a MAGA girl. It was Morgan Ariel. It was Emily, right? From Emily is Never Gonna Save America because she's too clownish and can't find her way out of her father's Orange County mansion, right? Emily, it was 𝗙𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏 and Sarah Stock. And those 4 got into it. But dude, they were like nasty, like outing each other with like STDs and shit. This is hilarious. Dude, it's funny. Let's just look at some of this. Okay, let's go in here and take a moment to look at this. Because these are like the worst people you know fucking getting involved in this shit. Okay, so here's where it started. It started with Sarah Stock, right? We're going to find her. I'm going to go down. And what's crazy is they're all like attacking each other. And they all are. Here's the main foursome, right? We have 𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. We have Sarah Stock, right? We have Emily, and we have Morgan Ariel. Okay. Dude, somebody said they're all mud sharks. That's so funny. But so what it started with was Sarah Stock posting this photo of her wedding ring, right? In a field. I mean, it's the worst photo, bro. Like, but whatevs. But she's out there with her fucking very nice manicure, but she's out there with her ring and she says, I won, is what she said. Okay, this is her little thing. I won. Now, I don't know like what that means, right? I won. I don't know what that means. Like, you know, if you did like, is it hard for conservative women to get married? Maybe it is. I mean, right? All the conservative men probably want to be with liberal women because the liberal women are not clowns that follow them around and behave like ribs, right? All the liberal women actually have ambition and you know, desires. But whatever, she said, I won. But like, look at what went on from this, okay? Because now the girls got in here. First off, everybody just fell to my knees at Walmart. Oh, people were clowning her. But then the conservative women got into it, okay? Like Charlie Kirk, his marriage is amazing. Oh, Charlie, you know, coming to tell the racists how amazing marriage is. All right, the comments are too out of hand here. but let me find one. So one of the first things that happened was Emily got in there. Oh shit. Okay. So Emily got in there and so Emily got in there and said the ring size. Okay. The Emily girl. Okay. She got in there as soon as she saw this, her fellow conservative getting married. I won. And she's like, ew, tiny ring. Right? That's what conservative women fight about, right? The ring size. Like the fact that Sarah's fiance, I guess, is not wealthy. She has a small ring. So Emily's like the ring size. And then Morgan Ariel says, you give it up for free, ho. Might want to sit this one out. Oh, Lord. Oh, dude. Isn't that funny? I mean, it does make sense, right? So you should sit this one for free. And then look at this, dude. Then fucking Pearl Davis, fucking Pearly thing says, Morgan, you are a single mother with a public video admitting you have HPV. You may want to sit this one out too. So now it's like you have HPV. But dude, it gets worse. This HPV tweet is like the nicest one of the bunch. Can I just tell you? Because look at what Morgan said. She said, you suck black dick and probably have AIDS. Oh my God. And then somebody said, Grok, is this true? So now they have Grok getting into it. And Grok is like, Pearl Davis has publicly admitted to dating and being sexual. So Grok is in. Dude. Oh shit. Like, right? Oh my God, dude. Isn't it hilarious? Oh. Dude. Oh my God, dude. And then, right? And then fucking, so, but it gets crazier. Okay, hold on. We're gonna keep going. Oh Lord. So then, okay, then everybody started like taking photos with their rings. Thank you, Les. Oh, that's funny. So all these conservative women started taking photos of like their rings, okay? And in response, all these conservative women were then clowning the ring shots, right? When women have hot husbands versus when women have ugly husbands, right? They're like, you know what I'm saying? Isn't it funny? Like, oh my God, dude. But hold on. We continue. All right. To be continued here. Oh shit. Sorry. All right. So then, okay. Then Morgan fucking comes on in front of the Emily's. Okay. Let's go to Morgan Ariel's page. Okay. Because hers is where the good shit shows up. Okay. So, dude, Grok on Grok crime. Okay, now, okay, so then, we got to find this one. Okay, so then Emily replied to Morgan Ariel, okay, when Morgan said, you give it up for free, ho, then Emily said, Morgan, your baby daddy abandoned you. You're raising a bastard child, but yet somehow, some way you think you're better than me or anyone on this app. You gave it up for free, got left in the dust, and now post rage bait on X to supplement the inadequacy of your monthly child support payments. All right. Now, again, it's more shots at the money, but I have to say, as like Morgan Ariel is about to take this one. She's about to bring it home, dude. She brings out the 9-iron, dude. You ready? Like, Emily! Dude, love him or hate him, okay? I think my vote is for Morgan Ariel in this fight, because watch what she says to Emily here, dude. Oh my God, dude. This is crazy what she says to Emily. Dude, you ready? You ready for the response of the day? So look at what she says. She goes off on Emily and says, none of that is true, Emily, but unlike you, I don't lie. So here are some facts. You got fingered in the middle of a hotel lobby at a TPUSA event while everyone watched, and there were families around. Dude, these conservative women, oh Lord. She said you brag about having sex with married MAGA dads and doing drugs. She said you have been completely ran through by both single and married men in the right wing. You call young virgins losers and encourage them to have premarital sex, and you're pro-abortion. You're a disgusting feminist whore with a Jezebel spirit who uses filters in all of her videos and lives in rebellion to God while grifting off the conservative movement and simultaneously trashes women who desire to live God-honoring lifestyles because their engagement rings didn't cost enough or their lifestyle isn't flashy enough. But yeah, I'm the one who needs money, you gold-digging hoe. So yes, I am better than you. But what's crazy about this is how her angle is about the God-honoring lifestyle. But like, I hate to break it to you, Morgan, but I'm not sure this tweet fits into the God-honoring lifestyle. Right? Oh my God, dude. But this right here about Emily getting fingered in the middle of a hotel lobby at a TPUSA event, like, don't you feel like you want to know the backstory behind that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I need some information here, right? Look at this. And then she posted something else. I'm one of the few people on the right that understands they're never going to win the abortion battle. They're screaming, my body, my choice about the vaccine, want little government, but the government should control women's bodies. I agree, it's awful, but stop the hypocrisy. Girl, is it 'cause you a hoe? Oh my God, dude. But, asking for a friend. Dude, we need popcorn. Oh shit. There we go. Oh fuck, bro. All right, dude, let's go, dude. I've got to get in there. I need to know the story behind the fucking the hotel lobby, bro. TPUSA finger banging. You like that? Asking for a friend? Oh shit. It's not me. Oh my God, dude. Says Grok. TLDR this for me. Now they're asking Grok to get back in here. Oh my God. And it says two conservative influencers, Emily Saves USA and It's Morgan Ariel, exchange heated personal attacks. Emily accuses Morgan of being abandoned with a bastard child and rage baiting for money. Morgan retorts by calling Emily a promiscuous, drug-using feminist who mocks virgins and lives hypocritically while grifting off the right-wing movement. But dude, oh shit, that is so funny, right? I mean, this is why you don't get on X. See, I feel like this is one of the reasons when Twitter shines, dude, when this sort of happens. Like, most of Twitter is dog shit, but watching conservatives eat each other on Twitter, because they get so nasty. They do. They get so nasty. right? I mean, even this message here with her just lighting up Emily, but the fact of the matter being that, like, she talks about being like God honoring. Dude, let's see though if we can find this shit. Oh my God, dude. This is just too good. I need to know the story of, right? I need to know the story behind this shit. Oh, then Isabella Maria pops in here, right? The woman who taught her, isn't she the one who taught her kid the N-word or some shit, right? Who's like, why is it so small? So everyone else is getting on. And he said, Pearly Thing says, I wonder how Charlie Kirk feels that all this degeneracy was going on at these TPUSA parties. Now, this is what's crazy to think about, guys, because remember, these people are the ones who are out there like being the morality police, okay? They're out there talking about God-honoring lifestyles and being trad wives and being moral people. You know what I'm saying? But the fact of the matter is they're getting hammered, they're getting finger banged in the hotel lobby in front of children while simultaneously attacking drag queens, right? They're sitting there and shredding people with crazy accusations and insults while saying that they're God honoring, right? They're just crazy hypocrites. And they don't at all follow the principles they claim to participate in, right? Oh my God. You know what I'm saying? And dude, it's so crazy. And so she's still getting into it. She says, everything I said about you was factual, and honestly, you do need to rethink your life and revisit your choices, but I know it was hard to see the raw truth in print for all to see, and so I forgive you for the unchristian bile you spewed at me. So now they're like, you know what I'm saying? Now they're like, oh, they're holding the Christianity against them. I mean, dude, it is amazing. Oh man, dude, at Twitter. So for me on Twitter, guys, I stay on the For You. I know Elon pumps a bunch of negative shit into my feed, but I don't care. I get in there boldly and fucking go stir up the pot. But yeah, dude, let's do a goal for dance party. Let's get that shit going. Oh my God, isn't that shit hilarious though? Dude, it is just so funny. Let me see if I can find the other tweet. There was a tweet where the guy put all of the insults together. Christians are mean. Oh, they're terrible. They're the fucking worst. But somebody put together all of those insults. That shit was funny though, dude. Oh Lord. But the Emily getting finger banged is pretty amazing. All right, let me see. I think did I save it in my drafts? Nope. All right. I bookmark it. Nope. Did I like it? I think I liked it. I got to remember to like shit. I did not like it. All right. All right. So let me see. Oh man, dude. I mean, dude, I know Morgan's the craziest one and she's like the phoniest Christian, but right? But she's funny, dude. Dude, let's go. Go for shuffle on deck. Let's go, Les. Thank you. She is funny. And then it says, oh yeah. So Pearl said, I apologize to Morgan Ariel for calling her a single mother with HPV. It was true, but I went too far. Okay. And then Morgan says it's not true. And if you keep it up, I'll have my lawyer contact you. So this is what they do, right? They go in, they're nasty, they go low grade and with their attacks, total degeneracy while claiming to be Christians, and then they threaten you with their lawyer, right? And that's a real big common thing amongst right-wing people is the lawyer threat. I'm going to sue you, right? Defamation. It's like, dude, you got to prove injury. You know what I mean? Like literally you can defame somebody all day long. If you can't prove that you suffered a financial loss because of it, you don't get shit. You know what I'm saying? Dude, lawfare? Oh, Lord. But, oh my God, isn't that funny? Okay, let's see. And Evan Kilgore, you ready? Look at this. Dude, look at this shit. This is a MAGA person, I think, isn't he? Isn't this a MAGA person? I think it is, isn't it? It is. I mean, he's retweeting Myron Gaines and shit. But look at what this guy said. Okay? Dude, DB, let's go, baby. Appreciate you. She gets off on being mean to people. Who does? Who? Morgan Ariel? Is that who you're talking about? Like, dude, I think all of the right-wing influencers, like, kind of do that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, dude, Morgan's nasty. And she always claims that she's, like, God-fearing. She's nasty. She's the meanest of all of them. I hate to say it, though, back in the day, back when I was a less healed guy, I used to go after those kind of, like, brutal, mouthy women. I did. I liked to fucking get into the thick of things. You know, I would go where the drama was. Oh, shit. Dude, Brutus, let's go. You got to go where the drama is. But yeah. But anyway, so look at what Evan Kilgore said here, though. He said, if you want the truth about what happens at TPUSA events, let's get the rundown, dude. Look at this shit. And this is Charlie Kirk's TPUSA, guys. Again, there is a rift brewing in MAGA, okay? Says one male ambassador brought teenage boys into his hotel room who were attending the event to sleep with them. Okay, so one of the TPUSA ambassadors is lining up teenage boys. One right-wing influencer who recently partnered with Charlie Kirk's college tour got fingered in the hotel lobby. Oh, that's Emily. In front of teens, then got into a verbal catfight after getting confronted. Okay, that's Emily. Some invited influencers got into a catfight at a bar after the same girl messed around with a married right-wing influencer. So Emily doesn't save America, but she does hook up with married MAGA. One ambassador had sex with a random dude. That's not big news. One ambassador got roofied and had to go to the hospital. No fucking way, dude. Somebody got roofied at TPUSA. Many ambassadors spend all night getting drunk at local bars or clubs and just skip the event. And these are just stories I know of directly or have experienced firsthand. Do not send your kids to TPUSA events. So this is wild, dude. Okay? Right? This is fucking crazy. So was it the continental breakfast? But again, guys, in and of itself, okay, this is like racy, whatever, tabloid shit. I kind of like the tabloid shit. I got a little Piers Morgan in me. I will admit it. I have a thirst for a little bit of the tabloid shit. But the reason why I find this interesting, guys, is a couple fold. One is because it, again, shines a light on the hypocrisy of these morality police, Christian, MAGA, right-wing freaks, okay? They keep proselytizing about Christianity and morality and how you're supposed to live your life, and they're so anti-LGBTQ, but in fact, the degeneracy is out of control in their own ranks. And this is TPUSA all the way on up the line. Matt Schlapp, right? How many of these guys? You got Mike Johnson with his weird adult black son, right? That is like got Grindr profile written all over it. You got Donald Trump being a rapist. Russell Brand is a rapist. Pete Hegseth is a rapist. I mean, the rapism, right? The rapey sort of degenerate adulterous. Many of them are gay. It's just like out of control, right? It is out of control. You know what I'm saying? And it's absolutely out of control, you know? And so that's an important thing to remember. The other thing to remember, though, guys, is that there is a rift happening in MAGA, okay? There is a rift happening, guys. I know after the election, they did all those stories with the young people and like, oh, MAGA is like so together and oh, this new breed. But given enough time with all of these greedy, grifting, clout-chasing influencers, it's really starting to fracture in a major way because of, you know, like not just their own behavior, but their own degeneracy with the oppression that they try to sort of promote. Because the reality is even though they promote this oppression and shit, I feel like it takes a toll on them. You know what I'm saying? It does. I feel like it takes a toll on them. And slowly but surely, we're realizing that, like, these people are fucking degenerates, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no, dude, Mike Johnson, right, you didn't know about this? He has a black adopted son, right? Look at this shit, all right? But look at their age difference was only a handful of years. He was like a teenager, right? Isn't that wild? And like, there's a lot of like, you know what I'm saying? There's literally like a 5-year or 4-year age difference. Is Mike Johnson gay? Now, I mean, we don't know, but I'm almost certain, okay, in my bones that Mike Johnson is gay. Fucking, you know, Lindsey Graham is gay, right? There's other people, Jim Jordan, gay. You know what I'm saying? Tom Cotton, I'm pretty sure is gay. There's like many of these guys. I mean, if you look at it, right? If you look at it statistically, okay, for, you know, 200 fucking House reps, there's at least 20, 30 of them are gay, if not 40. Tim Scott is highly likely another. But I mean, I would bet money, like I would fucking, if somebody bet me a lot of money, I would take the bet on Jim Jordan, Tom Cotton, Lindsey Graham, and Mike Johnson, right? Jim Jordan, I mean, it's pretty obvious, right? It's, you know, James Lankford, maybe. Yeah, I don't really know much about James Lankford, but a couple of those guys are definite. But when you think about it, guys, I mean, if you look at the 200 and whatever, there's 210 Republican congressmen, you know, like 30 to 45 of them are gay. You know, it's just guaranteed. Just statistically, it's like 20%, man. Like 20% of the population is LGBTQ. And there's no way around that, you know, and that's everywhere. You go to the NFL, man, there's like 15, 20% of the NFL also. They can't be out. They can't be public with it, but it's definitely there. You know what I'm saying? But isn't that crazy? That shit is nuts. But the TPUSA, the fact that there's like Christians fighting other Christians inside MAGA right now, this shit is like coming to a head, right? Isn't that wild? Dude, that shit is crazy. And then let's see what Morgan Ariel says about this. Again, I did make a video about Morgan Ariel way back when. let me see. I made a video. This one, dude, the MAGA influencer one, dude, that one is pretty crazy. Oh, shit. 5 months ago, she was calling out MAGA for being a cult. Do I think Trump has ever prayed? No, not a chance, dude. Not a chance that Trump has ever prayed. But, all right, let's see your video, dude. I think Morgan, don't get me wrong, Morgan is batshit. But she is fucking spunky, bro.
I will never understand for the life of me why TPUSA props up the most detestable, vile human beings who uphold no conservative values. I'm never gonna understand it.
So, dude, you have like a rift in TPUSA, right? Isn't that crazy? Oh my God, dude. Dude. And it is wild, bro. This shit is wild. All right. Now, a little impromptu, but I'm glad we covered it. Yeah, I saw somebody reply with fucking shock when I said earlier I have a little Piers Morgan in me. It's that tabloid, guys, right? That Inside Edition, that like, you know, TMZ. I have a little bit of that in me. I'm a news guy. I'm a politics guy, but I'm not like a World News Tonight 60 Minutes politics guy. I'm a little bit like an Inside Edition politics guy, a little bit of TMZ politics guy. And so Luke Beasley did make some videos about Morgan Ariel. I don't know if she collaborated with him, but this isn't the one that collaborated. So Luke Beasley did make some videos about Morgan Ariel, but you're thinking about the girl with the sort of rednecky MAGA, right? That's who you're thinking about. You're thinking about this one, right? You're thinking about this woman. Okay, with Isabella. You're thinking about Isabella. It's Isabella Moody. Okay, that's who you're thinking about, right? Is Isabella Moody with the fucking this guy, right? Dude, this guy is like, bro. But he did though. Luke Beasley did make a video about the Morgan Ariel thing too, right? He didn't make any content with her, but he did make a fucking video about the same shit, right? We both made a video about that, about Morgan Ariel and that calling MAGA a cult, right? The Christian former TPUSA person calling MAGA a cult, all right? Dude, it's fucking funny. But yeah, I've got a little tabloid in me, guys. I do. But now, all right, we gotta pivot into this Texas redistricting, guys. Okay? This Texas shit is wild. All right? Because they're all right, let me just say, yeah, Stephen Miller is brutal. Okay. So there's a lot of issues with the Texas redistricting thing, okay? Because here's what we need to sort out here is first off, okay? First off, one thing we need to establish here is what Texas is doing is very unheard of. Okay. Now there's a census every 10 years. Okay. And every 10 years after the census numbers come in, there's reapportionment, the maps change, and states will go and they will redo their maps. And so what happens is the census happens on the decade. Then in 2021, they'll get the information, they'll reapportion, find out how many reps, they'll submit new maps. By 2022, they're operating on new maps. And everybody does this. Now, the problem with Texas is they are literally just wanting to do this mid-decade at the request of Donald Trump. Okay, Trump has big allies in Texas. Ken Paxton, the attorney general, who is an adulterer. His wife is divorcing him for adultery. He's a degenerate. He's got like indictments for corruption charges. He is just a despicable piece of shit. Greg Abbott is not far behind. Okay, these guys now are responding to Trump's desire to help him hold the House. Okay, he wants to hold the House and if we have a Mark Elias video about this, like cue it up, give me a link. Okay, they're trying to hold the House. Okay, so they want to do a mid-decade redistricting to remove Jasmine Crockett's seat and to gain 5 seats for Trump. Now, the Democrat response has been to do a thing called breaking quorum. Okay, now what breaking quorum is you need a certain number of people to satisfy quorum. If you don't have quorum, you can't take a vote. Okay, and so I feel like I have a little bit of experience with this because this was a problem we had in Oregon. Okay, let me just show you. I'm going to show you the goods here because this is something we faced in Oregon. Okay, we had a lot of problems with, sorry, I spelled it wrong. Okay, we had a lot of problems in Oregon with quorums that culminated in 2019. Okay, when there was a Senate walkout and it was right, they were trying to fucking, they did it on an abortion bill. They did it on a lot of shit. They stayed out for 43 days. Now, the Republicans were doing this all the time here in Oregon. Okay, they started doing it anytime there was a bill they didn't like. They would break quorum and they would go and hide. So we did something about it as a state. No, the governor didn't threaten them with arrest and the governor didn't appeal to the Supreme Court. What we did in Oregon was we put a thing on the ballot. Okay, we put a measure on the ballot that said any representative who stays out more than 10 days isn't allowed to run for re-election. So we made it so, okay, you guys can break quorum, but if you do, you lose your seat, okay? You lose your job. But we did it the way you're supposed to do it with a statewide ballot that was voted on, okay? And that got voted on handily. And so eventually we fucking broke this, okay? You know what I'm saying? But this is a really significant thing here, guys, because it's not just the Democrats breaking quorum because there's a bill that they don't like. Okay, it's not just the Democrats are like, man, these guys are passing legislation that we don't like, so we're going to remove it. In Texas, they are literally trying to do a mid-decade gerrymander to remove seats in order to specifically help President Trump not lose the House. Okay, they are like, dude, it's like the dirtiest of the dirtiest of the dirty. Okay, it is gnarly, dude. You know what I'm saying? And so now what we're going to figure out is like, what are the options? Okay, now Greg Abbott has been going ape shit. Okay, the Republicans there, Greg Abbott and Ken Paxton, have been sort of like freaking out. They're just like, you know, threatening. We're going to put out warrants for their arrest. We're going to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court's going to vacate their seats. But here's the deal, guys. They're not breaking the law, okay? There isn't a law on the books that they're breaking, okay? Breaking quorum is not against the law. You know what I mean? they're scrambling, but it's not against the law. But let's hear how this started a couple of days ago.
Texans in an emergency. And in Texas, we had an emergency. In the middle of the night, a cabin full of 8-year-old girls was washed away. Families calling 911 that night were told by operators that help was not coming.
Okay, now, we should notice, guys, okay? You ready? We should notice this, guys, that the thing, first off, I want to address the guy who's talking about Jasmine Crockett. And no, GK, you're wrong, okay? You're wrong. The only reason you're calling her, you're saying she's too rude, she's not any ruder than somebody like Nancy Mace or MTG or Donald Trump. It's simply that when a black woman behaves like that, you call her rude, okay? But when white people do it, or Donald Trump or a man does it, they're totally allowed to do with it, okay? They're allowed to do that. She's not behaved any different than anyone else, okay, in government. But a black woman gets labeled differently because they're expected to be different. But anyway, this is, I think, is really important here. What this guy is saying is the start of this redistricting thing, guys, is this. The start of the redistricting is that there was a flood, guys. There was a huge flood, okay? There was a huge flood. Young people died, okay? Many people in Texas died. Those young girls at the camp died. There was a piss poor flood response. They didn't call a special session to deal with the floods. They haven't called special sessions to deal with the power grids. They didn't call a special session to help the citizens of their state. Okay? They wanted to have a special session to change the map to help Donald Trump. I mean, isn't that crazy? That's insane. Okay? That is insane. I mean, it's just completely outrageous.
At the end of the day, over 130 Texans lost their lives. That's an emergency worthy of our time and our attention and our action. But instead, Greg Abbott, doing Donald Trump's bidding, has spent this special session trying to steal 5 congressional seats to help Donald Trump hold on to power in the 2026 midterm. So what we're doing is raising the alarm. We're running into the fight, and we're standing up for our constituents and the people of Texas as we fight Donald Trump and Greg Abbott.
Yeah,
look,
and this is real specific, okay? So let's see what 𝗙𝗪ici𝗂 had to say.
This is State Representative James 𝗙𝗪ici𝗂 from Texas. If you're seeing this video, my Democratic colleagues and I have just left our beloved state to break quorum and stop Trump's redistricting power grab. Trump told our Republican colleagues to redraw the political maps here in Texas in the middle of the decade to get him 5 more seats and protect his majority in Congress. They're turning our districts into crazy shapes to guarantee the outcome they want in the 2026 elections. If this power grab succeeds, they will hang on to power without any accountability from the voters. But Texas Democrats are fighting back. We're leaving the state, breaking quorum, and preventing Republicans from silencing our voices and rigging the next election. We are not fighting for the Democratic Party. We are fighting for the democratic process, and the stakes could not be higher. We have to take a stand.
This is state so obviously it became it became imperative for these guys, okay? It became imperative for these guys to make a big move and stop this, to shut it down. Now, other blue states are preparing, okay? They're preparing in case something happens and this redistricting comes before, you know what I'm saying? Right? And so obviously California's looking into it. Illinois could pull another couple seats. There are a couple other states that could pull a seat here or a seat there. I really think if they wanted to, Washington could pull some. Oregon could probably pull a couple. If Democrats wanted to, I think they could pick up 25 seats. I'll be honest. I really think Democrats, if they want to go into this, if they want to go in and do this, if they want to go in and play this game, I think it's going to fuck them, bro. I think it's going to fuck them in a major way. You know what I'm saying? In a major, major way. So yeah. So, but anyway, so J.B. Pritzker, okay, he today left a great... Yeah, dude, I think it's time, dude. I think the reality is this. The reality is we need to stop. We need to stop playing nice with these guys. Okay? You know what I'm saying? We need to stop playing nice with these guys. We really do. We really need to stop playing nice with these guys. For sure. I'm ready. Like, if they want all-out war, I say we give it to them. You know what I'm saying? I say we give it to them. I think blue states should heavily consider withholding their tax revenues, right? They should, redistrict. I mean, you know what I mean? I think it's time. I think it's time to force because the reality is the blue states literally provide the entire backbone of this country. And then the whole time we get told by a bunch of fucking rubes that we're so problematic. And you know what I'm saying? And it's like, fuck these guys, dude. It is really time to fucking to take the fight. And it won't end with redistrict. Yeah, but I don't care. I don't care if it's a soft civil war. If that's what it takes, then fine. I'm down for a soft civil war. I'm down for it. I'm down to have the blue states just form their own country and let those fucking Christian assholes fucking, oppress themselves. You know what I mean? Fuck them, bro. I'm serious. I'm tired of this shit. I don't want to fucking play these acquiesce games anymore, right? You want to be weirdos? Then fine. Take fucking Nebraska and Alabama and all your shitty states with no money and no infrastructure, and you guys can fucking eat a dick. You know what I mean? We'll fucking join Canada, bro. Right? I would join Canada or Mexico, right? You know what I'm saying? I mean, if California and New York left, dude, what do they have? They have Texas and they have Florida. And Florida is in crisis, guys. Florida, because of all the hurricanes, same with Texas. Because of all the natural disasters in Florida and Texas, my God, dude, they're so in trouble. Florida, in particular, is in deep shit, dude. Florida's in deep shit. But for me, guys, my thing is I'm not about this idea of fighting a civil war to make them come around. I don't think we need to make them come around. I think we should just let them fucking eat themselves and let them oppress themselves. Let's just bounce. You know what I mean? All right. And so let's get here. All right, let's see some fucking takes on this. Dude, SK, let's go, baby. Dude, why is I don't know why that one clip is not playing, dude. I want to see this clip of Tarlov. Dude. Dude, is there no other copies of that? Come on, man. All right. So let's see. So this happened a couple days ago.
Yeah, so Jesse Jr. didn't want to go to camp the other day because I was driving him and he wanted mommy to drive. And
she's a better driver.
No, definitely not. And then so he finds out I'm driving and he starts crying and runs upstairs and hides in my room. And I get to him and I say, what's the problem? Why don't you want Dad to take you? And he says, well, Mommy, when she takes me to camp, she stops at Dunkin' Donuts for munchkins. Now I get why Mom drives. So I said, well, stop for a treat. And then I drove him and he forgot about the treat. This is the same kind of infantile behavior you're seeing. They're crying, they're running, and they're throwing a tantrum until they get what they want. This also has happened on the Republican side, too. In 1988, the Democrats in the Senate had a campaign finance bill, and the Republicans couldn't filibuster it, so the Republican senators disappeared. And what did Robert Byrd do, who was a member of the Klan, Jessica? He ordered the sergeant-at-arms to gather up a bunch of Capitol Police officers and hunt down and arrest Republican senators. And they find Bob Packwood holed up in his office, and he tried to obstruct the door. So they bust down the door, they handcuff him, and they drag him feet first back onto the Senate floor.
See, you know what's funny about this is I don't know if you've noticed this lately, but have you noticed? I know the GOP are literally the people who invented the quorum breaking and obstruction recently. But I don't know if you've noticed, but this is a huge just thing going on right now where everything about MAGA is they just want to see you like dragged out of your house in handcuffs, right? Have you noticed that? Like, that is a huge part of their thing. They spend all day online talking about so-and-so's getting arrested. I want to see them get dragged. Like, they want you, like, cuffed and just pulled by the hair. You know what I'm saying? They want to rewind the clocks to, like, the 1930s or some shit. And they're, like, obsessed with it. It is so bizarre how they're so, like, they're so fucked up. I don't get why they're so fucked up. You know what I'm saying? I don't get it.
This has happened a lot recently, though, with the Democrats. From Texas to Indiana to Wisconsin, they're running away from their jobs. The American people don't know the word gerrymander. You go out into the street, you ask them what gerrymander is, they don't know and they don't care.
Dude, they do care, and many of the American people do know it. And you know who doesn't know it, though, Jesse Waters? Our fucking dumb shits are the people that don't know it. That's who doesn't know it.
Other things they're dealing with. They know what it looks like when you don't go to work. And all the headlines right now are Democrats run away from their jobs. People want politicians to show up, and they're not showing up. They say the Republicans are pulling a power grab. What do you think bringing 20 million migrants into the country was?
20 million migrants, right? Yeah. Dude, their thing is so fucking, right? Dude, their thing is so clownish. 20 million migrants, unverified. There's no way 20 million people came in. And even if 20 million people did come in from South America, they certainly didn't all vote Democrat. The amount of like patriarchal Catholic society coming from South America, if 20 million people came from South America, 60% of them would be Republican voters. And yes, it's a couple million at most, right? Probably, I think 2 million, 3 million is like probably the max. But they say it's 20 million. Yeah, sure. But even if it was 20 million, even with 2 million, half of them are fucking Republicans. They're not all voting Democrat. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if they recently arrived, yes, they're not even voting, right? But it's just like bullshit after bullshit after bullshit.
You know, they're saying this is an abuse of power. Put the map back up of Illinois. That looked like an earthworm on LSD connecting blue cities.
But again, here's the deal. You want to complain about the map in Illinois? We wanted to pass H.R. 1, okay, which would have ended partisan gerrymandering. But the Republicans voted against it. And again, that Illinois map was drawn in 2021, which is when you draw maps after the census. If Texas wants to redistrict, they can wait until 2030 after that census, and then they can redistrict. But we're not going to let them redistrict in the middle of the decade just because Donald Trump is a rapist and on the run from the Epstein files and going to crash the economy, and he wants to make sure he can maintain control of the government so he can keep dismantling shit. Fuck you, Jesse Waters. You fucking clown. You know what I'm saying? He is dumb, dude. He's disingenuous as shit, bro.
Exactly. So they're saying that we're going to steal the midterms, the Republicans. Well, the last time Trump was president, they stole the midterms by hovering the Russia hoax over his head, which cost him the House. Now,
yeah. Oh, it was the hoax. It wasn't the fact that Trump's a fucking degenerate piece of shit. Right? Dude.
Obama told Democrats a couple weeks ago to get tough. And what did they do? They ran away. Do men run away? Is this how you get men back? Did the men at the alley?
Dude, they're so mad, right? They're so mad that they can't just, right? That they can't just do this. Like, they can't do anything without the quorum, right? They're so mad. Like, even if they do this, like, whatever, they're threatening to, like, vacate their seats or whatever. But even if they vacated all their seats, they can't do anything. Texas can't vote. And they can't pass a law to change how they vote. They're just, like, stuck, right? And you know what I'm saying? They're just stuck. But, dude, I do want to see that fucking Tarlov fucking video, bro. Let's see if it's loading now. All right. Oh, shit, it's not. There's something wrong with this. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to see if I can download it. Give me 1 sec here. Dude, yeah, it's funny because the video I made tonight.
You guys are the.
Oh, I got it. The video I made tonight, guys, was about that manhood shit, about this whole idea, right? That they have so much shit like fucking wrapped up in the manhood. But this clip is good. You ready? Watch this clip. Here we go.
You guys are the worst offenders. Why don't you just say how terrible you guys are?
I'm not in the mood, and it's not true. So yes, the map looks.
You don't jerry around with your districts?
We don't do mid-cycle redistricting.
You just did it in New York.
No, we have never
and then she
gone
got
in the
slapped
middle.
down by a judge.
We have never mid-cycle redistricted.
Just did it in 2024.
At the behest of the president asking for 5 seats like he asked for all of those votes way back in Georgia. And it's interesting you hear this from the right, oh, look at Massachusetts. And I think Trump said he got like 40% of the vote or something there. And they don't have a Republican seat. But the GOP governor was the one who signed off on those lines, and they had a bipartisan commission to do this. Sometimes Republicans just don't win, and sometimes Democrats just don't win. It doesn't mean that everything has to be so wildly unfair. But even 𝗙𝗪 posted about this, which I appreciated, saying, I want to win 5 more seats, but even politics must have rules. Gerrymandering should be done once every 10 years. Check back in 2032 when this would be appropriate.
Katie.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, dude, what's crazy about this is just how it's gotten so out of control, okay? You know what I mean? It's gotten so out of control, dude, that, like, oh my God, dude. Gunther Eagleman eating a banana. Dude, what world are we living in? Oh, Lordy. Dude. Oh, man. All right. So, anyway, I want to find the Pritzker thing. All right, so here we go, dude. Now they're trying to, right? This is the other shit, though, because what they're trying to do now is now they're trying to say that you know, they're trying to demand like a census recount. Okay, I mean, it is like a constant. You know, it is a constant. Hold on 1 sec. It is like a constant goalpost moving with these clowns. Okay? It is a constant moving of the goalpost. where it's a never-ending, it's like a never-ending thing, right? Like Trump says, you know, redistrict the maps. We want to change the maps. Oh, you can't do that. Okay, well, now we need to recount the census. Now he wants to remove, you know, birthright citizenship, right? And they remove some pieces of the Constitution and on like the websites and shit. I mean, it's like it is a nonstop cheating, goalpost moving, and no matter what they do, right? No matter what they do, they just keep fucking trying to move the goalposts. Okay?
Gerrymander the bejesus out of these maps and just destroy Democrat representation where we can.
Yeah.
And it's just, we're in a war now.
They
We're
write
in a
the rules,
war.
right?
They screwed around, and now they're about to find out.
They wrote the rules, their rules, right? California, Republicans have 40% of the vote share, and yet they have only 17% of the congressional seats. I think in Massachusetts, it's 35% of statewide vote.
Dude, but they're not going to talk about their seats.
Zero
right?
seats.
They're not going to, like, let's look at Ohio. Right? If you look at Ohio's congressional districts, right? I mean, look at this shit. I mean, look at that shit, dude. Look at that crazy shit in Ohio. And what it does is it takes Columbus and it puts the majority of the people of color into one district, and then it pilfers everybody else into all these other districts. But look at all that shit. Look at this brown one up here. This is Ohio. All right. I mean, dude, it is like fucking outrageous. And you could look at everybody. Right? If you look at Alabama's congressional districts, right? Okay. Here's another one. Oh, here's a good map. Right? I mean, this is Alabama. And again, they take a city and they pilfer it out into 4 areas. But look at that shit, dude. Look at this one. All the way from Mobile, right, in Muscle Shoals up through Montgomery. Look at that shit. What are these districts? Every single one of these is fucking gerrymandered and shit. And again, the Democrats proposed legislation in 2021 that would have ended this and made everything independent commissions, right? Making sure the maps reflect the voting population, because the reality is every state has, you know, every state is like between 30, right? Every state is from 35-65 to 50-50. There, you know what I mean? But yet a lot of the state like reps are 100 to 0. You know what I'm saying? Louisiana's map, dude, they're all bad. All right? Oh yeah. Louisiana, this one's fucking terrible, bro. Oh shit. Look at that shit. Yeah, look at the pink one, dude. What the fuck? Now, again, all of this, right? And yeah, all of this is fucking, yeah, dude, yeah, Ohio voted for Obama. And I mean, part of it is because of that, okay? Florida voted for Obama, right? And this is why they did that, okay? This is why they changed this shit, right? They changed these maps. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's in Louisiana in particular, it's about diluting the black vote, okay? There's a high black population in Louisiana, and they made sure that all of the white legislators fucking like run that state. But they're all bad, dude. Yeah, absolutely. They're all fucking terrible, right? Here's a Florida map. Let's find a recent one. All right, here's a Florida congressional map. These look pretty normal, but you see, once you get near the cities, they start getting carved up and start getting a little wonky, right? And especially down here in Miami, they get super squirrely. But it's always mostly what it is, right? What it is in, at least in the Republican states, what they have a tendency to do is there's large Democratic voter populations in every urban area. And so they tentacle it. So what they do is they take this large urban area and they strip pieces of it out into these huge sort of districts. But then, you know, there's another downside to this, guys. The other downside to this is beyond, right? If we go back to some of this, let me show you what the other downside is, because it affects the legislation, okay? Because on the one hand, you have the downside of like diluting voter bases and you know, making these districts, but like even when they legislate, right? When somebody wins this district, none of these people have anything in common, guys. In Louisiana, I don't know if you've been to Louisiana, but the people that live up here and the people who live down here, the fucking economies are totally different, right? There's like, so what happens is somebody wins District 6 and they're in power, but nobody in this district is getting good legislation, because legislation that's good for up here isn't good for down here. So it's really bad. These gerrymandered districts are bad because ultimately the people representing those districts are not even like providing shit that's good for everybody in their district. And so it's super problematic because ultimately they don't even really care about these people. They're not even fucking connected. It's just about power. It's just about advancing the legislation of whiteness as a whole in Louisiana, of Christian white supremacy, you know? And yeah, dude, these states should be, right? They should be blue. These states, like, should be majority blue. I mean, most of the country should be majority blue. But yeah, dude, isn't that wild? That shit is crazy, right? Dude, it's nuts, man. Let's look at Oklahoma. All right, Oklahoma's. Yikes. Yeah, I mean, theirs is like, look at this, dude. What the fuck is this district, bro? Right? Crazy, dude. A little sliver, right? Like if you're here and you're here a mile away, but in between your two houses for that mile is a different district. Dude. Oh, shit, bro. Unbelievable. See, I've always thought that districts should be clearly demarcated by county line. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Right? I mean, they should have county line barriers, and I mean, it, you know, it's hard by having them need to represent a similar amount of people, right? I think it would be better if they fucking all the reps repped the state as a whole. You know what I mean? Like you could have quadrants like Northeast, Northwest, Southeast, Southwest, and have one rep from each range or two reps in each area. But, you know, this craziness is fucking so chaotic. You know, it is. It's fucking ridiculous. And it's being so mangled. But let me find that clip from I think it was Midas with JB Pritzker. Okay, here it is. This is a good one, okay? This is where Pritzker fucking lays it out with the Texas fucking districting. Okay, he lays it out. He lays it out real simple. You ready? Watch this. This is great.
Well, just to remind everyone, we are literally on the verge of losing our democracy. If Donald Trump is able to just steal 5 congressional districts in Texas, and by the way, they're going to Missouri and Indiana.
They are
to get those legislatures and those governors to comply as well. Then, honestly, you can just cheat and take over government fairly easily, and all of us will be left to wonder what happened. So we've got to stand with these Texas legislators. So here's what's happening as of today. First of all, yes, it's true that John Cornyn, who is running for re-election to the United States Senate in Texas, called up the president to get the FBI involved. And then you've got Ken Paxton, the AG of Texas, who is fighting to beat John Cornyn. And he says that Texas can't actually engage the federal government in this. And he's right.
Which is true. Texas cannot,
federal government in this, and he's right about that. But he wants to send the Texas Rangers to Illinois instead of the FBI.
Dude, when I heard that, I was like, he's sending the baseball team? Is that what he's going to do? He's going to send the baseball team, right? The Texas Rangers. But I love what Pritzker's about to say here. Watch what he says about the Texas Rangers coming to Illinois.
With, as you rightly point out, a civil warrant issued by the Texas House of Representatives Speaker. But, the fact is that neither Texas nor the FBI at the federal level have the ability to arrest these Texas Democrats who are breaking quorum. They just don't. There's no legal precedent for that. There's no law on the books.
None.
That would allow them to do that.
Yeah, so it is not illegal to break quorum, guys. It's not. Okay? It's not illegal to break quorum. There's no law. I mean, there's a law here in Oregon now. We passed one, a statewide ballot measure that says if you don't show up at your job for more than 10 days, you can't run for re-election. So we put in a thing because the Republicans here broke quorum so often that we had to fucking deal with that shit. But the fact of the matter is they're not breaking any laws. There's nothing that can be done to them legally. Okay, there's not.
So as I've been saying, they're all allowed to visit Chicago or Illinois. And
dude, this is great. What he says here, he's like, because Paxton's threatening to send the Rangers to Illinois. And look at what Pritzker says.
There's no law on the books that would allow them to do that. So as I've been saying, they're all allowed to visit Chicago or Illinois and take in the great view of our lake and our city and enjoy the great restaurants that we have. But they won't be taking anybody home with them or away from the state. We are protecting those Texas House Democrats, and they are protecting, frankly, the entire country in what they do. Let me add one more thing, Ben.
Dude, did you hear that? He said, if you send the Texas Rangers, right, you are allowed to, visit the state, take in a show, look at the lake, have a great meal, right? But you're not leaving with anyone, Oh my God. Yes, somebody did. It was a content creator that
there was
this.
A threat against those Texas Democrats that are here in Illinois. It was a bomb threat at their hotel. There was a right-wing, fellow who does podcasts, and he showed up at the location that the Texas legislators are at and took video and then posted it online and posted a map of where in Illinois that hotel is. And then that was shortly after that there was a bomb threat that arrived at that hotel.
Shoot.
So,
dude, we need 2 more in 4 minutes, baby, for the dance. Let's go. 2 more. Yeah. So Texas can't do anything, guys, right? They can't. Texas can't. They can't pass a law. They can't do anything without a quorum, right? So, I mean, they could put a statewide ballot measure or something on there, but then that's not going to get voted on until 2026, right?
This is dangerous. It's difficult. We're protecting them. Our state police are there. Our local law enforcement are there. And in addition to that, there's private security that they've hired. So
Jesus.
we're at a precarious moment, but I can assure you that we will not give up this fight. And most importantly, the heroes of the Texas Democratic Caucus are not giving up the fight.
All right, so there you go. One more. 3 minutes. There it is. Mr. Moj, there it is. 10 and 10 at the wire. Dance party. Dude, isn't that crazy? That is fucking crazy. So that's where we're at, guys. We're at like...
Well, just to remind everyone...
We're at where Trump is trying to change the laws, right? Trump is trying to, you know, call up his buddies in Texas, help me steal a fucking... Thank you, Marisol. Help me steal an election, right? Give me, right? Prevent us from losing an election. And now we have to fight that shit. But does Texas have a private army of Rangers? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I thought the Texas Rangers was just a state police force, right? You know what I'm saying? I don't know that it's private. I think it's a government, isn't it? Right? I thought it was a state police force. Right? Yeah. It's right? It's an statewide jurisdiction, an investigative law enforcement agency. So they're basically like state troopers, but they're like investigators or whatever, right? Yeah, that's the state troopers, like the CHP or whatever, right? I mean, that's what you have. Like essentially, what you have in every state is you have two things, right? Like in LA, you had LAPD, which is the municipal police force for the city of Los Angeles. And then you had the sheriffs, which were for LA County. And the sheriffs are the ones that work in the prisons. And the LAPD are the ones that police the streets. And so that's pretty standard. Then you also have the California Highway Patrol, which are the state. Okay, those are state officers that like their main jurisdiction is on the highways and the state areas, you know, state parks and shit like that. So that's usually, it depends on the municipality, but usually you have state officers that work the jails and are also officers. And then you have city police officers that work the streets. So I think the Texas Rangers, right, that's just their state police. But yeah, man, I mean, we've been trying to get rid of this fucking gerrymandering for a long time, dude. You know? And yes, the Georgia lieutenant governor switched parties. All right? That dude, we got to look at this too after the dance. Chris Cuomo, did you see that Cuomo he posted a tweet? He posted a fucking AI video about AOC, right? Cuomo did. Fucking dumbass, bro. He posted a video, right? There was an AI video about AOC being on the floor of Congress talking about the Sydney Sweeney ad, and Cuomo posted it and was like, oh my God, culture wars. You're engaged in culture wars. It's AI. Dude, we got to watch this video. It's crazy. And then he deleted it after she was like, dude, that's AI. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Right? But he says, dude, we got to do this. We're going to dance and then we're going to come back. It's just, we got to talk about it. It's too hilarious. Oh, shit. All right, you guys ready? Let's go. Dude, what the hell, bro? No way, dude. Dude, there was an actress from fucking The Walking Dead who was 33 years old who died of fucking cancer, boss. Jesus. That's harsh, bro. Dude, that's been happening a lot, man. There's a girl that I knew here in fucking Portland who lives in New York City who's husband, he's like 40. He just died of a really aggressive cancer. And she was like the nicest person I've ever known, dude. And I'm like, man, right? Dude, I know they're cutting funding for cancer research. They're cutting funding for like so much shit. Dude, like, right? So dumb, bro. All right. You ready? You ready for a little deja vu? Shifty people seem to live forever. Well, then, I mean, yikes, dude. Whoops. Whoopsie. Dude, I'm going to be around for a long time, bro. All right, let's dance, baby. Let's get it going. You're fucking cutting a rug, bro. Ooh. Oh, shit. You're clearing a catheter clog? Oh, shit, dude. Oh, that's funny. Ooh. Dude, that was some work, boss. Putting in the work, baby. You know? Oh. Gonna catch my breath real quick.
Freedom.
So you always win. You arrest yourself again. Misdirection. You know I'm through with you. Used my obsession.
Always jumping through.
A good song, man.
I'm just lost in my reflection. Pay attention.
Woo!
You never will.
Dude, let's go. You're out of breath just looking at me dance? Yeah, dude, I like to cut a rug, bro. I remember I had a friend from college. He got married and they had a swing band. And me and my girlfriend fucking went ape. All right, so let's look at this Cuomo, okay? Let's look at this Cuomo thing real quick. Yeah, we cut a rug. Dude, I really like swing dancing. It's a lot of fun. But recovery is better every day. All right, let's go, baby. Dude, all right. Yeah, I mean, I don't notice that, but I'm glad it is. Let's go. Oh, you mean my recovery from being out of breath? I'm definitely getting in shape for sure. But anyway, what I think is important about this is about like media literacy and about how we are operating, guys, in this media climate, okay, of like only emotional response. And it's getting pretty bad. Okay, and I feel like this Chris Cuomo tweet really exemplifies a lot of what's going on. Okay, and the fact of the matter is we are reaching this sort of critical mass of people responding only emotionally. And I hate to say this, guys, but it is far more prevalent on the right wing. I know that they say facts over your feelings and all this other shit. And they keep saying that Democrats are the morons and Democrats are over emotional and Democrats are too like into their feelings. But like most of the left wingers I know, we verify data before we post shit on social media. And if we find something we posted was like disinformation, we get rid of it. You know what I mean? But verifying is a really important part of the process. Now, on the right wing, they literally look for things that get them activated and then they throw it out there, right? The minute it triggers their whatever they're harboring, their emotional thing, that emotional state, that rage, that fear, whatever they're like carrying around in them, the minute they find something that activates that shit, they are like off to the races. Now, let's see if we can actually find the video, because he deleted the tweet. Okay, he deleted the tweet, but I'm sure somebody saved the video. Okay, so he deleted it, and she responded, "This is a deep fake, dude. Please use your critical thinking skills. At this point, you're just reposting Facebook memes and calling it journalism." She like laid him out. Oh my God, dude, she laid him out. Okay. But what's crazy about this though, is he said, AOC was right. They got me. AI, it did seem like something she would say, but she ignored the part of the tweet that mattered. And here's what we need to fucking sort out here. Because I, my friend, am hitting a critical mass with what's going on here. Let's listen to Cuomo, and then we're going to find the tweet, and then I'll give you my spiel here about how I am hitting critical mass with this.
You listening? I was wrong. I was tweeting today and saw a clip of AOC saying that Sydney Sweeney ad was racist. And so I replied to it and I said, why do you care about this and ignore what matters most? Why, in all the times that you've called on Israel to stop, why have you never told Hamas to stop, told Hamas to surrender? Why would you ignore the St. Louis attack on that Jewish guy who had his car bombed? AOC tweeted back and said, dude, that's a deep fake, that Sydney Sweeney ad. You suck, in so many words. And she was right. They got me. AI. It was really good, and it did seem like something she would say, but it wasn't her. So I thanked AOC for correcting me. But I then reminded her, she ignored the part of the tweet that mattered, okay?
Yeah, but let's pause there, because first off, the part of the tweet that mattered is like, because she's not supportive enough of Israel. But like, dude, what does that have to do to anything? First off, Israel's not America. Secondly, Hamas is not committing a genocide, right? You know what I'm saying? Hamas is not going to war with every country and trying to take all their land. You know what I mean? I mean, it's like really weird that he goes from Sydney Sweeney to that. You know what I mean? Like, it's a very TYT. It's like a Cenk Uygur, sort of like the opposite of Cenk Uygur, dude. Chris Cuomo is like the anti-Cenk Uygur. But you know what I mean? I mean, it's like, what's crazy about it is we have so many issues, right? We have issues of like people not being able to afford to live, people not being able to eat, people not having health care, people not having access to clean water, you know? But he's like calling her out on like these national, whatever, like cherry picked national incidents, you know? But I don't know. It's just very strange behavior, because you're right. He doesn't fucking call out other people. You know what I'm saying? And what's more though, is he is like sort of, you know, I've seen him make comments about AOC, about, you know, like her being a fucking communist and a socialist. He makes them about Mamdani, right? He makes these comments that are, you know, I don't know, a little out of pocket. I mean, he sort of mitigated some of Benny Johnson's extremism in the BTC Benny Johnson interview. Like, he at least didn't go way out on the fringe like MAGA does. But he does. It's weird for him to focus on her and Israel when she's been very, very clear about where she stands on that and the genocide. And there are a lot of people, okay, that I guess understand that the Hamas situation is a little different than the Israel situation, because Hamas is a response to oppression, okay? And that's not defending them, because, you know, we don't want responses to oppression to necessarily be violent. But you know, Israel's oppression came long before Hamas existed, okay? Let's be very clear about that, all right? The same way that if you go down to downtown LA, you know what I'm saying? If you go down to downtown LA, the LAPD's oppression existed long before the street gangs did, okay? That's facts. You know what I mean? You know, and I'm not defending the street gangs and their drug trade and shit, but these guys grew up in neighborhoods where there was no opportunity, there was no investment, there was no money. The cops are literally looking to put them in jail, and they develop gangs as a way to protect themselves and to be able to have a future that was other than going to prison. You know what I'm saying? And so the thing is no, I don't support gangs, but I understand how we ended up with them, okay? And part of the reason we ended up with them is because of state-sponsored oppression, okay? And that's facts, okay? If you stop oppressing people, some of that gang shit would disappear, okay? It would become unnecessary. you know, and it's the same shit over there, man, you know, and I don't know, dude, it's pretty crazy, but let's find the original fucking tweet.
Not Sweeney, which really should have never been a thing, let's be honest. Why did AOC, the most popular Democrat in the country, powerful, reportedly ignore what I asked about calling on Hamas to surrender to end the war they started? She has never said that I could find. Think about that. She also ignored my question about saying nothing about the American IDF soldier who returned home only to have his car firebombed in America by anti-Semites. Why? Why wouldn't you say anything about that?
But, dude, the question becomes, Cuomo, why do you need her to say something about that? Is she from St. Louis? Does every time something goes on in New York City, does the St. Louis congressional representative, like, weigh in? Do you ask the St. Louis congressional representatives, the Missouri reps, to weigh in on things that happen in New York? Right? Is that a requirement now? Are you going to go take a poll of the Oklahoma congressional representatives to weigh in on the Cincinnati, Ohio beating and fight in the streets? Like, come on, man. You know what I mean? I mean, we know why you're doing this. We know why you're demanding this, because you're trying to insinuate that she's like a terrorist sympathizer is what you're doing, simply because she opposes the IDF. And dude, that's some bullshit, bro. Right? That's, to him, that's what's important. Not the fact that his media literacy is like fucking second grade and he couldn't even tell. I want to see how bad this video is. Right? Dude, I got to see the video, bro. How bad was the video? It had to be bad. Oh my God, here it is. Oh shit. You ready? Oh my God, it's even fucking like labeled as a parody on
Sydney Sweeney looks.
Oh my God, dude. It says parody 100% made with AI, dude. It says it on the video, guys. It says it on the video. And what did he post? He said nothing about Hamas or people burning Jews' cars, but Sweeney Jeans ad deserved time on floor of Congress. What happened to this party? Fight for small business, not for small culture wars, he says. Again, I'm going to get to my point, because remember, I said I'd reach critical mass with something, and we are going to get to it. But let's look at this video, which literally says parody at
Sydney
the top.
Sweeney looks.
It says it at the top, and I mean, oh my God, look at that, dude. That is like Timu AOC, bro. That is so not AOC. That's not even her nose, dude. What the fuck? What the fuck are we talking about?
Sydney Sweeney looks like an Aryan goddess. And the American Eagle Jeans campaign is blatant Nazi propaganda. I mean, fuck. Watching that sultry little temptress squeeze into a Canadian tuxedo, 3 sizes too small, with her bouncy little fun bags on the screen staring at you, dude, piercing through the core of your soul with those ocean blue eyes.
Dude, there's no way, bro. How? Dude, how? How did he think this was real, bro? Oh my God.
Resurrect the Fuhrer from his grave in Argentina is something that should alarm every American citizen, because in America...
Dude, her fun bags! Dude, it said fun bags! Dude! What the fuck?
Beauty is not defined by whiteness. Oh no, it is defined by the number of victim groups of which you are a member. Skinny, attractive, blonde-haired, blue-eyed cisgender women descend from the slave daddy oppressors of this nation. And any man who cranks one out while thinking about a woman like this...
Who cranks one out? Oh my God.
Probably hates black people, probably hates gay people, and they certainly hate the diversity of our great nation. So I say, instead of simping for the Sydneys, we should be celebrating the 𝗙ecie𝗶𝗆. Instead of worshiping the hot, straight blonde,
oh my
what
God.
about the obese alphabet, people with blue hair? They need love too. And to all the haters who say companies that go woke, go broke, I'd rather be poor than a fucking Nazi.
Dude, I gotta see the fun bags part again, dude. Oh my God.
𝗙śnie😂😶 looks like an Aryan goddess. And the American Eagle Jeans campaign is blatant Nazi propaganda. I mean, fuck. Watching that sultry little temptress squeeze into a Canadian tuxedo, 3 sizes too small, with her bouncy little fun bags on the screen staring at you.
Dude! Oh my God, bro! Dude. Oh, Lord, dude. Jesus, boss. Oh, fuck, dude. Dude, there's just no way, dude. So, I mean, here's the thing. Is like either A, again, okay, this guy's a journalist. Either A, he didn't actually watch the video, right? He may have just looked at the thing that says AOC says Sweeney Jean's campaign is racist propaganda, right? He like looked at the fucking title and nothing else. He never clicked on it. He never watched it. He just saw, oh, propaganda. But like, bro, what are you doing, boss? The fun bags? Oh my God. Dude, this is what I'm talking about though, right? This is what I'm talking about. And he says it really does sound like you. Like, really? There's no way. But he says it really does sound like you. Like, what is he talking about, man? He's just so dumb, bro. He's so fucking dumb. But now, here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing that I want to hit on, where I said I have reached a critical mass. And where I have reached a critical mass and am fed up with these right-wing motherfuckers is when it comes to the culture wars, okay? Because Democrats are not fighting culture wars. They have never been fighting culture wars, ever. It's never been a thing. And I'm tired of hearing this bullshit from the right wing about Democrats and culture wars when it's literally every fucking culture war is a right-wing thing, okay? The good gene shit that they're all fucking spewing. Nancy Mace is taking a picture with her fucking man ass, okay? You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, right? Dude, culture war. Donald Trump protects women. Donald Trump, the rapist, and the grab him by the pussy guy protects women. That's culture war, okay? Donald Trump, Jeffrey Epstein, like harassing women. Nancy Mace with her little fucking, she posted her thing about having good genes. Culture war. I mean, my God, if we go to Nancy Mace's page, her whole page is culture war. It's her standing next to bathroom signs. It's her talking about race issues. I mean, you want to talk culture war? Let's go look at the White House, okay? Let's literally look at the White House account here. Look at this, guys. The White House is fucking, hold on. Dude, they post a lot, but the White House is fucking, right here, culture war, women's sports, it's culture war, okay? The fucking, they're protecting Confederate statues, culture war, this shit, okay? Where they're literally, every time they arrest a brown person, they post the person on fucking, like, social media, bro. Every time somebody does a Nazi salute, they post it. and support it. Everything here, everything on this shit is culture war. The Olympics, men, talking about women's sports, talking about transgender people. Like everything they do is fucking culture war. You know what I'm saying? Practically. It's like all they do is culture war. Their entire ICE thing is culture war. He's talking about the Sydney Sweeney ad. It's just culture war after culture war after culture war after culture war. Okay? Every single thing they do is either lying about President Obama and making up some fake fucking conspiracy theory that they're blaming on the deep state, or it is some type of culture war nonsense. Okay? You know what I mean? I mean, they're posting things about vans, right? Customized vans and fucking deportations. Like, what are we doing? Think about how many fucking undocumented people you could fit in this bad boy. Like, dude, that's crazy that they're just posting fucking, like, they're so deranged, dude. You know what I mean? They're so fucking demented. But this shit really bothers me, guys. The posting pictures of individual, this is the White House account. And the White House account is posting pictures of individual Hispanic people as they arrest them. They're beaming it out. Dude, they have 2 million followers. This is the official, like, presidential account that every time they arrest a brown person, they're like posting, it's like cutting off someone's head and putting it on a stick and parading it around the town square. It's so dehumanizing. You know what I'm saying? It's like so crazy, right? And fucking stealing people's intellectual property to, it's fucking outrageous. But all of this is fucking culture war after culture war after culture war, right? That's what the whole fucking thing is, okay? And attacking SNAP benefits, attacking Medicaid, you know what I'm saying? Like, dude, expanding coal mines in 2025. Good work, America. Nice work. Expanding coal mines. And this is all coming from a fucking rapist, right? The fucking stool presidente. Dude, it's crazy, bro. Isn't that nuts? Dude, I know. It doesn't even feel like the country at all. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't. It doesn't feel like the country at all. Right? And now a bunch of tariffs are fucking taking effect. So now shit's gonna get crazy, guys. Right? We're about to enter the upside down. Right? Now the tariffs are fucking gonna be taking effect. I mean, most of this shit is going on without any tariffs actually taking effect, right? They keep bragging about the tariff income, which we all pay for. Dude, this shit is crazy. And again, this was Trump, okay? You ready? Look at this shit. Watch this. This was Trump today.
Gathering this evening to talk about how to respond to the Epstein situation?
So there's a meeting happening with J.D. Vance and Todd Blanche, Trump's personal lawyer. Look at him, dude. He just looks like a bitch. Trump's personal lawyer and J.D. Vance and everybody are getting together trying to figure out, what do we do about this Epstein situation? How do we figure this out to develop a fucking, right, some type of technique, okay? You know what I'm saying? Some type of technique or strategy on how to win this thing, because they are going underwater. But here's his response.
Gathering this evening to talk about how to respond to the Epstein situation?
Is he working on what?
Is he hosting some kind of gathering of top advisors this evening to talk about how to respond to the Epstein situation?
I don't know. I could ask you that question. I don't know of it, but I think here's the man right here.
I saw it reported today, and it's completely fake news. We're not meeting to talk about the Epstein situation, and I think the reporter who reported it needs to get better sources.
Oh, yeah. So I wonder why J.D. Vance and Trump and Susie Wiles and Todd Blanche, I wonder why they are meeting, right? What are they discussing? We know what they're discussing. These fucking liars, bro. But watch, here he goes. Now he's going to go off. Dude.
Look, the whole thing is a hoax. It's put out by the Democrats.
The whole thing is a hoax, right? The whole thing is a hoax. That's the story. Let's see if we get the whole thing.
The two Kevins, very good.
Mr. President, is Vice President Vance hosting a gathering this evening to talk about how to respond to the Epstein situation?
Is he working on what?
Is he hosting some kind of gathering of top advisors this evening to talk about how to respond to the Epstein situation?
I don't know. I could ask you that question. I don't know of it, but I think here's the man right here.
I saw it reported today, and it's completely fake news. We're not meeting to talk about the Epstein situation, and I think the reporter who reported it needs to get better sources.
Look, the whole thing is a hoax. It's put out by the Democrats because we've had the most successful 6 months in the history of our country. And that's just a way of trying to divert attention to something that's total bullshit.
All right. So that's Trump's take on it, right? That Epstein is a hoax and that it's total bullshit. You know, I mean, dude, I just don't think this tack is really going to work for them, right? You know what I mean? It's just not going to, like, does he think this is going to go away? Do they not realize there's 1,000 fucking victims? Like, there are so many victims. There are so many victims. And they are going to get more and more emboldened to come out. And we are going to keep demanding this. Democrats are going to make this like priority number one. We're going to keep this in every single news cycle. You know what I mean? And yes, the pattern of lies is definitely going to come. But I mean, dude, J.D. Vance, Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, Todd Blanche, all of them getting together. What the fuck are they talking about? You know what they're talking about. I mean, you know they're talking about Ghislaine Maxwell, right? They're probably also talking about the Texas Democrats, but there's nothing they can do there. The FBI cannot go to fucking, you know, they can't go to Chicago and arrest those Democrats. They don't have the power to do that. I know, the most successful 6 months, right? The most successful, really? Oh, okay, Trumpy. Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about the number of like rapists, you know, elected to a cabinet in 6 months, you got that, right? But please, oh Lord, dude, it's fucking, yeah. And again, though, you remember what we watched earlier with those MAGA influencers like eating themselves? I feel like Epstein is another way that they're going to eat themselves, you know, and the fact that he thinks that it's a hoax. Now, I really want to see some fucking pushback from the American media, and I hope we see it. I mean, I did tweet about it where it was here. It was right here, right? When I first saw this, okay, about them meeting at Vance's house to discuss Epstein. And I'm like, man, like our media needs to quit fucking around, okay? I feel like the American media helped give us Trump, okay? They did. They absolutely did because they like the clicks. They like the chaos. They like the advertising revenue. They like the drama, okay? They do. It's like money for them. But they have like whitewashed and sane-washed and dropped the ball on shit and you know, buried the truth for access. I mean, we know. But like, goddamn, bro, like, it's pretty obvious that democracy is like, we're at the doorstep of democracy. And it's pretty obvious that this case in particular is very toxic. And there's something in there that is like, I mean, I've never seen Trump like so fucked up by something as like this. Like, he is so fucked up to where even his own supporters are like, goddamn, dude, he ain't making sense anymore. That's how fucked up he is. He's lost his pizzazz with the supporters. So at the end of the day, this isn't like him just playing politics. This is like 1,000 young girls. You know what I mean? This is like young girls that are spending the rest of their life trying to overcome this abuse. And we need to stand in for them. We need to force the media to never let this go, right? We do. It's like up to us. And on that note, I want to talk about this guy, about fucking Barry Krischer, okay? Because this guy is really like super important, guys. All right. This is a guy that I've been looking at here that that we need to look at Barry Krischer. Okay. Now, everybody knows when you talk about Epstein. Okay. When you talk about Epstein, everybody knows about the Alex Acosta situation. Right? So to put the Epstein thing into a framework, okay? Let me get this set. Oh shit, let's go, baby. All right. See what we find here about it. That podcast may be the thing we look at. Okay, so what we need to look at here, okay, is I wanted to take you through a run through here about the way this went down. Okay? Now, so the original case against Jeffrey Epstein started with a parent calling the Palm Beach police and saying, you know, my daughter, I found her with a whole bunch of money, okay? And it's unusual for my daughter to have this much money. And I asked her where she got it from. She couldn't really tell me. She said she's been giving a massage to a billionaire or a rich guy in Palm Beach. And they're like, how old's your daughter? She was like 15. And the cops were like, what the fuck? So they brought the mother in, they brought the daughter in, and that is originally how this Epstein thing got rolling. Okay? It started with a parent calling into the Palm Beach police. So originally, the Epstein situation was a local police matter. It was the Palm Beach police investigating a Palm Beach resident. Now, the local district attorney in Palm Beach was this guy, Barry Krischer. Okay? Now, Barry Krischer, originally, the cops started developing this case. And it's like, holy shit, you know what I mean? This case is really like, you know, it's like there's a really intense amount of evidence here. They had all these women victims. But then what happened is somewhere along the line, Barry Krischer started sabotaging his own case. Okay? Started sabotaging his own case. And that's where it gets really fucking crazy. Okay? Like, let's get this article going. Let me find the fucking... Okay. So, all right. We're going to fucking let this thing load and we're going to go through this story with fucking Barry Krischer. Okay. And all right. I don't know if we can watch that video on YouTube or not. I'll have to pre-screen that video, but all right. So Barry Krischer, 80, the Palm Beach County state attorney in 2006, was the first prosecutor to bring a criminal case against Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, but he torpedoed that case in front of the grand jury considering charges leaving open the opportunity for Epstein to sexually abuse underage girls for years afterwards until he was arrested in 2019. Okay, the longtime attorney in Palm Beach County has had a number of interesting cases in his career that garnered national interest, including a special needs child who stole $2 from a classmate, whom Krischer charged with armed robbery, and a fatal hit and run case in which he helped shield his client's identity from law enforcement for years. Krischer was Palm Beach County state attorney for 16 years, okay, from 1992 to 2009. Okay, leaving office while Epstein was serving his jail sentence for 2 prostitution-related charges. The grand jury was the first in Palm Beach County to consider a sex crime, okay? The transcripts of those proceedings were made public on July 1st in a lawsuit filed by the Palm Beach Post in 2019. Sources told the newspaper in its investigation, Jeffrey Epstein, the first failure, that only one victim testified, and the prosecutor presenting the case undermined her with content on her MySpace pages. So guys, this is unprecedented, okay? This is unprecedented. So, and it turned out that 2 victims testified out of nearly 24 young women and underage girls who described abuse at Epstein's mansion to Palm Beach police. A prosecutor flat out called each of them a prostitute in front of the grand jurors. Assistant State Attorney Lana Belovovac, okay, asked one whether she knew she had committed a crime. So what's crazy about this, guys, with Barry Krischer is the police in Palm Beach built a case with all these victims. They had like over a dozen victims. Okay, these cops worked hard. They worked hard on this investigation. They raided Epstein's house. They went through his trash. They fucking had around-the-clock surveillance. They ran it up on this, and they had a serious case. And then, when it went time to go before the grand jury, Barry Krischer torpedoed his own case, okay? They actually called out the witnesses. They didn't put all the witnesses on there. They put the witnesses that were the most vulnerable with character attacks. And then they attacked the character of their own case, guys. They sabotaged their own case at the grand jury level. The grand jury indicted Epstein on only a single charge of solicitation of prostitution, what a John soliciting an adult sex worker might face. There was no reflection on the ages of the victims who couldn't consent under state law. Epstein went on to plead guilty to an additional charge of procuring a person under 18 for prostitution and served 13 months in a Palm Beach County jail in July of 2008. Okay, the Post sued to gain the release of the grand jury transcripts so the public and the survivors could get some answers to why Epstein was convicted of charges that most people consider nowhere near the scope of his crimes. Okay. And again, guys, this is revolutionary. Okay. This is pretty unheard of. And what's wild about it is when you hear people, I think I have another, let me see if I have this other article. I think I grabbed another article. I don't know. I'm looking to see if I grabbed it. Oh, I did not. All right, I'm going to have to find that other article. But the people who the law enforcement who worked on this case were a little bit blown away because in a nutshell, what happened was they investigated, they built a case. Then the minute they built this case, Jeffrey Epstein got arrested. And the minute Epstein got arrested and the minute Epstein's lawyer got involved with the prosecutor started torpedoing his own case. And that was really wild. And then the law enforcement people who worked on this case, who took it very seriously, right, were really fucking pissed off about this. And then Alex Acosta comes in and gives him an immunity deal, right, which completely erased any of the federal charges. and gave him and all those women conspirators, you know, Adriana Ross, Sarah Kellen that we talked about yesterday, gave them all immunity so they could no longer be prosecuted. And then Jeffrey Epstein, literally, he got one charge of soliciting prostitution and one charge of, like, you know, engaging in prostitution with a minor. And that was it. Boom. 13 months of jail. He got 12 hours a day of work release, 6 days a week. He left jail at 7 in the morning, didn't have to come back until 7 at night. That was his thing. Dude, it's fucking unheard of, bro. It is. It's unheard of, and it's like beyond smarmy, dude. This shit is beyond smarmy. It is, man. Okay, so Barry Krischer was part of the deal of the century for Jeffrey Epstein. The sweetheart plea deal that Epstein got, freeing him from facing a 60-count federal indictment. 60 counts, guys, on the federal indictment, okay, was done with the approval of Krischer because the charges ended up in his jurisdiction, state court. The feds launched their investigation of Epstein around the time of the grand jury's indictment in June of 2006. Palm Beach Police Chief Michael Reiter had expressed concern to Krischer about his prosecution of the case, calling the state's attorney's office treatment of these cases highly unusual. After delivering evidence of nearly 24 women and underage girls who told similar stories of sexual abuse at Epstein's mansion, Reiter elected to hand over his case to the FBI. Okay? In the end, Epstein pleaded guilty and was sentenced to jail in Krischer's jurisdiction, not the federal prosecutors. According to the infamous non-prosecution agreement, Epstein had to make a deal with Krischer, and Krischer was allowed to add charges. Okay? Barry, and here's more about his career. So this guy has had a little bit of a suspect career. We heard about those 2 incidents of the special needs kid and the kid who did a hit and run and fled and he hit him, right? But then, Krischer was tough on juveniles, charging many as adults. The year before he was elected state attorney, 197 juveniles had been charged as adults. In the first 4 months Krischer was in office, he charged 119. They ranged in age from 13 to 17. So this guy was really big on charging teens as adults. In addition to the Epstein victims, Krischer famously didn't believe 2 teens who told investigators from their hospital beds in November that 2006 that Jason Shenfield had bound them with duct tape and threatened them with a knife and with his pit bull if they didn't perform sex acts. Krischer didn't charge Shenfield. So, dude, he like, you know what I'm saying? He like literally didn't charge, like he didn't protect women at all. You know what I'm saying? 8 months later, Amanda Buckley, an 18-year-old Palm Beach Gardens high school softball star, was found raped and strangled to death in Shenfield's closet. Duct tape was in her hair. Okay, so there were 2 victims that like said this guy raped them and made them perform sex acts while threatening them with a knife and a pit bull. This guy didn't file charges. And then 8 months later, that guy murdered a young girl. Like, bro, I mean, come on, dude. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And so Krischer practiced law as both a defense attorney and a prosecutor, okay? And then he worked as a prosecutor in Kings County, New York in the 70s. Then he went on to become, you know, in Palm Beach. But here's what they had, okay? So, dude, I want to find the other article I have about him. Give me a second here. I mean, this guy is crazy. Okay. So there was some grand jury testimony that literally, guys, just got released last year, you know, and let's see if we can find So here it is, okay? So here's what happened. These records had remained sealed for 16 years, okay? And so they released them 200 pages, including the testimony of the two girls that were molested by Epstein, okay? And Epstein and the Palm Beach prosecutor at the time, Barry Krischer, elected to charge him with a minor prostitution and solicitation, okay? And then both Krischer and the lead prosecutor in the case, 𝗙𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏 told Palm Beach police that they didn't intend to prosecute Epstein because they believed the girls were prostitutes. Okay. And then Chief Michael Reiter and the lead detective protested, noting that they were 14 and he was in his 50s. He used fraud and coercion to lure the girls on the pretense they would be paid to give massages. Okay. And there were transcripts and audio recordings of the testimony given before the grand jury. All right. And then Krischer presented the case to a grand jury because he wouldn't allow Palm Beach police to arrest and file charges against Epstein. All right. And what is clear was that they painted an unsympathetic portrait of the girls, both of whom came from broken families. Okay. And she, Jesus. So they had the sex crimes, right? And he sabotaged his own case. Hold on. Give me 1 sec here. Let me find this other fucking story. Give me a sec. Dude, this guy is so creepy, bro. It's like so creepy. Like from the very beginning, guys, there's something about this that was like super dirty. You know what I'm saying? It's like from the very beginning. And then look at this. Oh, here it is. All right. So look at this shit. I'm sorry, but your blood's about to boil, guys. Okay? My apologies in advance, but your blood is about to boil. All right? Get ready. All right? All right. Florida prosecutors knew Epstein raped teenage girls 2 years before they cut that deal. All right. They knew he raped teenage girls. They knew it well in advance of the deal, and they made the deal anyway. Okay. And so Daniel, we know that they're going to try to like take down Democrats. We know what their plan is. I mean, their plan is obvious, that they're going to try to put a notorious liar and perjurer, Ghislaine Maxwell, on the stand. They're going to try to get her to finger some people that are Democrats that Trump can use as ahas and take the heat off him, right? I mean, we know what their plan is. I'm just saying, like, I don't think the plan's going to work. I think we're too deep in this. I think this thing is too, like, he's made too many mistakes already of trying to, you know what I'm saying? Trying to shift blame and say it's a hoax and say it's bullshit. And there are a lot of people like nationwide that are now hunting this down. There's a lot of victims. So, right. So I honestly don't think they're going to be able to pull this off. Okay. I don't. I think there's a lot of problems with it. You know what I mean? But anyway, let's look at this. Okay. So Florida prosecutors knew the late millionaire and financier Jeffrey Epstein sexually assaulted teenage girls 2 years before they cut a plea deal that has long been criticized as too lenient and a missed opportunity to imprison him a decade earlier. Okay, the 2006 grand jury investigation was the first of many by law enforcement over the past 2 decades into his sex trafficking of teenagers and how his ties to the rich and powerful seem to have allowed him to avoid prison or serious jail term. Okay, the investigations uncovered Epstein's close ties to former President Bill Clinton and Britain's Prince Andrew, as well as his once friendly relationship with former President Donald Trump and numerous others of wealth and influence. Now, we know that the connections with Trump go like way back, okay, all the way back to the modeling agencies, okay? And we are going to have a show either tomorrow or the day after where we're going to start looking. I didn't even realize, guys, the number of people that have died connected to this case is pretty wild, okay? When we get in there, we're going to go on a journey and we're going to look at all the people that have died. There's a lot. There's like models, there's lawyers, there have been a string of deaths and suicides around this case that is really kind of chilling, okay, that we have to look at. Okay, Circuit Judge Luis Delgado's release of 150 pages Monday came as a surprise since there was a scheduled hearing next week over unsealing the graphic testimony, okay? And the bill, Ron DeSantis signed a bill that allowed them to release this stuff. Okay, the transcripts show that the jury heard testimony that Epstein, who was then in his 40s, had raped teenage girls as young as 14 at his Palm Beach mansion, often paying them so he could commit statutory rape or assault. The teenagers testified and told detectives they were also paid cash or rented cars if they found him more girls. The details in the record will be outrageous to decent people, Delgado wrote in his order. The testimony taken by the grand jury concerns activity ranging from grossly unacceptable to rape. All of the conduct at issue is sexually deviant, disgusting, and criminal. In 2008, Epstein cut a deal with South Florida federal prosecutors. That was Alexander Acosta, who went on to be in Trump's cabinet, okay, that allowed him to escape more severe federal charges. He had 60 federal charges against him. Okay, and instead plead guilty to state charges of procuring a person under 18 for prostitution and solicitation of prostitution. He was sentenced to 1.5 years in the Palm Beach County jail system, during which he was allowed to go to his office almost daily as part of a work release program, followed by a year of house arrest and required to register as a sex offender. Okay. Criticism of the deal resulted in the 2019 resignation of Trump's labor secretary, Alex Acosta, who was the U.S. attorney for South Florida in 2008, signed off on the deal. A 2020 Justice Department investigation concluded that Acosta used poor judgment in his handling of the Epstein prosecution, but it didn't rise to the level of professional misconduct. Now, he went behind the backs of all of the victims, by the way. But the chief prosecutor in the Epstein case, former Palm Beach County State Attorney Barry Krischer, did not immediately respond Monday to an email and voicemail seeking comment about the transcript's release. Okay, current Palm Beach County State Attorney Dave Ehrenberg, who is not involved in the investigation, said in a statement he's glad the records have been released. He said he has not yet read the transcripts, so could not comment on whether Krischer should have pursued a tougher prosecution of Epstein. Now, Brad Edwards, an attorney for many of the victims, said in a statement that the transcripts show that Krischer's office took the case to the grand jury with an agenda to return minimal, if any, criminal charges against Jeffrey Epstein. A fraction of the evidence was presented in a misleading way, and the office portrayed the victims as criminals. He said, "It is so sad the number of victims Epstein was able to abuse because the state carried water for him when they had a chance to put him away. Epstein's estate is paying $155 million in restitution to more than 125 victims." According to the transcripts, Palm Beach Police Detective Joe Riccieri testified in July 2006 that the initial investigation began when a woman reported in March 2005 her stepdaughter, who was in high school at the time, said she received $300 in exchange for sexual activity with a man in Palm Beach. Okay. Another teenager whose name was redacted told detectives she was 17 years old when she was approached by a friend who said she could make $200 by providing Epstein with a massage at his home. at the house when Epstein tried touching her. She told him she was uncomfortable. He then told her he would pay $200 if she brought him girls. Okay. And he told her the younger, the better. Over time, she brought 6 friends, including a 14-year-old. Okay. And likened herself to Hollywood Madam Heidi Fleiss in October 2005 interviews. When she brought over a 23-year-old friend, Epstein told her the friend was too old. Dude, it was like exclusively young. The more you did, the more money you made. Now, this is Haley Robson, okay? She came up in the video we made about Sarah Kellen. And that was Haley Robson, who was originally like sort of molested by him. And then she became like a procurer to sort of protect herself, right? And I mean, dude, it's hard because all of these girls were from broken homes. And they were all, once they got involved in this ring with this really rich guy, I think they probably most certainly felt like they had to sort of play along, and then you start sort of protecting yourself. I mean, it's really bad when you're living inside trauma. It's really hard, you know? I mean, it's like for her to take care of herself, she was going to find other people. But the crazy thing, guys, okay, is as alarming as this is, when you go, like, we take for granted that people's lives are good. But the sad fact of the matter is, when you go to a place like West Palm Beach, okay, the island in Palm Beach is wealthy as shit, okay? But when you go onto the mainland there, and you go to West Palm Beach, there's a lot of like white trash, trailer parks, poor white people, poor people of color packed in these neighborhoods. And what it is there is a culture there where a lot of these young women are already being sexually abused by uncles, stepfathers. They're already from broken homes. They've already been sexually assaulted or had these things. So for them to then be offered money to go get in a thong and massage this old guy, as deviant, as fucked up as it is, it almost seems normal to some of these girls, but they get like hundreds of dollars out of it, right? Which is like money that there would be no way for them to have access to. And yes, in the end, who's going to believe them? The girl from the broken home that, you know, maybe already had an abortion or whatever, or this billionaire guy who's one of the Palm Beach elite. You know what I'm saying? It gets really fucking, I don't know, it gets really hairy. And these guys, these predators, they have an uncanny ability on targeting the people that the cops don't really care about, that they won't really believe. Like a lot of rapists and abusers, they do this. They target like sex workers. They target people that are, you know, itinerant, you know, nomadic people living in motels and shit, because they know that if the cop fucking like goes to them and they say, oh, this guy did it, the cops aren't even going to believe them. Okay. They like choose their victims very wisely. And I mean, I'm going to go out on a limb here. You know how much I hate cops. Okay. You do. You know, I fucking hate cops. But I'm actually going to give the local police of Palm Beach a few props, because when you look into this case, when that mother called and reported her stepdaughter and that money, like the cops brought her in and they fucking believed her, guys. And they brought in those other women and they fucking believed these teenage girls. And they really investigated the shit out of this guy, a very wealthy businessman, a very powerful figure. And then they watched the political figures, the elected district attorney and the appointed fucking state federal attorney, right? The federal attorney, they watched those guys then torpedo their shit and basically let this guy off, you know? And this is fucking pretty fucking wild, okay? So look at this. Another teen, okay, she explained that there was going to be a massage and some possible touching, and you would have to provide the massage either topless or naked. Again, these girls are from broken homes, so it wasn't really that big of a stretch for them. Another teen testified she visited Epstein's house hundreds of times in the early 2000s, starting when she was 16. He paid her $200 each time she gave him a massage while naked, rented her a car, and gave her $1,000 the time that he raped her. Okay? A 2005 police search of Epstein's mansion found evidence supporting the girl's testimony. They found evidence. Also, Epstein's houseman told detectives that the teenagers who came to the mansion were very young, too young to be a masseuse. Epstein in 2018 was finally charged with federal sex trafficking crimes in New York, where he also had a mansion that was a scene of abuse, after the Miami Herald published a series of articles that renewed public attention on the case, including interviews with some victims who had been pursuing civil lawsuits against Epstein. Okay, again, guys, the only reason this case came back was because of the reporters at the Miami Herald. Those local reporters that kept this thing alive, that kept interviewing victims. And like right now, guys, we all have to be like the Miami Herald. We're not going to let them create a narrative, sweep it under the rug, and let this go. Okay? We are not. You know what I'm saying? We absolutely are not. But at the center of this, guys, is Barry Krischer. Okay? You know what I'm saying? It at the center of this is Barry fucking Krischer. Okay? This is the guy at the center of this thing. Dude, I'm like so pissed at this stuff, bro. You know what I'm saying? I am, dude. I'm like, I get fucking heated by this shit. Okay? This is him, dude. There he is, bro. Barry fucking Krischer, bro.
There is new fallout in the Jeffrey Epstein case. Labor Secretary 𝗙𝗪𝗪 is refusing the mounting calls to resign because of his role in keeping the wealthy child sex offender out of prison a decade ago. 𝗙𝗪𝗪, who was South Florida's U.S. attorney at the time, insists the plea deal he made was appropriate. CBS 4's Hank Tester is live at the federal courthouse in Miami with new reaction to that tonight. Hank?
Well, there are no apologies out of 𝗙𝗪𝗪 whatsoever. The president apparently told 𝗙𝗪𝗪 to hold a press conference and clear the air. He did that today. The question is, was the president watching? Well, we were. Let's take a look. Labor Secretary and one-time U.S. Attorney 𝗙𝗪𝗪 wants to set the record straight.
Simply put, the Palm Beach State Attorney's Office was ready to let Epstein walk free. No jail time, nothing.
A Palm Beach grand jury had brought a single charge against Jeffrey Epstein, the mega-rich Palm Beach hedge fund mogul, accused sex trafficker, child molester. That was 2008, and the feds, headed by then U.S. Attorney 𝗙𝗪𝗪, had a 53-count list of charges. But we're not sure they could convict Epstein, so, according to 𝗙𝗪𝗪, they cut a deal to ensure jail time and much more.
The goal here was straightforward. Put Epstein behind bars, ensured he registered as a sexual offender, provide victims with the means to seek restitution, and protect the public by putting them on notice that a sexual predator was in their midst.
What he did was a reaction to their failure to come up with any serious charges against Epstein.
So 𝗙𝗪𝗪 pushed aside the federal charges, favoring the sure thing the state action offered.
They had 60 federal charges, 13 victims. Okay, they had this guy dead to rights, like a year, 2 years of police work of the local Palm Beach police. They had an airtight case. And then the fucking local cop, the local fucking county DA, Barry Krischer, okay, torpedoed it, brought it down to one fucking measly charge, and 𝗙𝗪𝗪 let him off on that.
But that's not how the deal worked out. Former federal prosecutor David Weinstein.
On paper, it looked like a good deal. In reality, not a very good deal at all.
The fallout. Epstein only served a portion of the 18-month sentence and was on a daily work release schedule 6 days a week. Acosta's deal did not look too good a decade later when Epstein was recently busted by the feds, charged with multiple charges of child sex trafficking.
We did what we did because we wanted to see Epstein go to jail. He needed to go to jail.
This from Senator Marco Rubio.
What he has said is that there was real questions about whether they could get a conviction, and therefore they struck the best deal they could, and it was approved from all the way up to the top of the Justice Department.
Isn't that crazy? You see how Marco Rubio is defending Alex Acosta, and who's the Secretary of State now, guys? Marco Rubio. Now, I'd be willing to bet if we looked into the background, we know Pam Bondi. I bet all of many of the people surrounding Trump right now are people who helped carry water in this case. Okay. This, I almost feel like Epstein is the central fucking thing. And yes, social butterfly, Acosta was above the county DA. Okay. The cops, when they saw that Krischer was torpedoing this thing, the cops brought in the FBI because they're like, oh my God, this is New York. This is here. There's an island. This is a really big deal. They brought in the FBI. So there were federal charges. You know what I'm saying? And yes, the federal charges, they should have gone to trial with those 13 victims and however many more victims would have come forward. And they should have gone to trial on the 60 counts. And he would have been in prison for fucking, the rest of his life, man. And the victims were expecting that. It was a tight case, right? But then he went behind their back and he gave them immunity. It wasn't even just that they dropped the federal charges. He gave them an immunity deal for Epstein and the 4 women closest to him that were his top lieutenants. They all signed an immunity deal that not only did it drop the federal charges, but it prevented any of them from any further federal charges in exchange for Barry Krischer prosecuting Jeffrey Epstein with state charges. But then Krischer went to the grand jury and torpedoed his own case. And so they got one fucking charge and he registered as a sex offender. So they both fucking sacked this, bro. Isn't that crazy?
And this from the Palm Beach state attorney at the time of the Epstein deal. If Mr. Acosta was truly concerned with the state case, then felt he had to rescue the matter, he would have moved forward with the 53-page indictment that his own office drafted. Instead, Mr. Acosta brokered a secret plea deal that resulted in a non-prosecution agreement. Mr. Acosta should not be allowed to rewrite history.
But look at this, though. Look at this, guys. Because this is the hilarious thing. Because look at who made this statement, dude. Barry Krischer. So what ended up happening was Acosta fucking gave the immunity deal in exchange for state charges. Barry Krischer tanked the state charges. Epstein serves basically no time, gets off. Okay. And then later on, when this thing blows up, Barry Krischer's like, man, it was Acosta's fault. Right? He's like, Acosta set up this deal and gave him immunity. Right? Oh, right. Oh, now they're saying I didn't do my job good. Dude, isn't that crazy? And yeah, it is weird how all these people are either involved in Trump's cabinet or some major connection. I mean, how many people, satellites of the Epstein case, have ended up in Trump's inner circle, dude?
Well, is Acosta in hot water with President Trump? He says no way. He says he has a very good relationship with the president. No.
And of course, as we know, Acosta eventually stepped down and he fell on the sword to make all this go away. But again, dude, at the center of this is that motherfucker Barry Krischer, dude. You know what I'm saying? Barry Krischer's the guy, dude. Dude. He's the fucking dude, bro. Man, this shit just fucking this shit burns me up, dude. Right? And they're all in Trump's orbit. Like, man, you know what's crazy about this, guys, is like this stuff, okay? Like, I mean, I know this is fucking crazy. Okay, we're gonna watch the breaking points thing here.
Let's get to that then.
But so what's crazy about this, guys, this is going to be the last thing I watch, and then I got to go make some videos. So what's crazy about this is I feel like the Epstein case is in a weird way central to Donald Trump's like rise to power. Okay? You know what I mean? Like his proximity to this and his involvement with this is part of what I think both made Trump like seek this level of power and what enabled him to sort of get there. I mean, I think this goes very, very deep. You know, I can't stop thinking about the John Roberts on the Epstein flight logs and wonder if it's, you know, the Supreme Court fucking John Roberts. You know what I mean? It's never really been looked into, but like there's something about this that is like deeply rooted to like some of the most powerful people in our country right now. It's, you know what I'm saying?
So CBS News actually did a great job. They did almost a 10-minute investigation into this, and they compiled some of the stuff that we've talked about here about the camera angles and others, but they did a very good job of showing some of the graphics, and they brought in...
Oh, is this the jail tape? Oh, it is. All right. I thought that was something else. I don't want to watch the jail tape. We've seen that. I beat the jail tape to death, right? Let's go. Oh, here. I think Krischer's on here.
Remarkable scene this afternoon. There's a federal prosecutor.
Oh, no, he doesn't appear. See, I want to get some video.
And continue to be so important for prosecutors to bring.
Of Krischer, bro. Like.
At all, because the state wasn't going to put him away for any time. And secondly, he said, don't blame me for this crazy deal where the guy can come out every day and go to work. Correspondent for the New York Times, Byrd Berger, former federal prosecutor in the Southern District of New York. I want to go to Byrd on this one. Byrd, please, a couple things. Unpack the defense of the guy today. So the Secretary of Labor said today that it wasn't his fault because if he hadn't gotten involved as a federal prosecutor, there wouldn't have been any jail time at all, because the state wasn't going to put him away for any time. And secondly, he said, don't blame me for this crazy deal where the guy can come out every day and go to work 6 days a week when he's supposedly in jail. That was something that was cooked up after the deal and in violation of the deal. How true are those claims?
Yeah, I mean, what you see there is Acosta really trying to pass the buck to the state prosecutors. Essentially, he's saying the state had negotiated this terrible deal. We had to swoop in and try to save the day. But I think that really falls short. I mean, first of all, if he had really wanted to swoop in and save the day, it sounds like there was a 53-page indictment that his office had drafted. Why not go forward with those charges? We still have not seen a good explanation for why they decided to walk away from federal charges altogether. And if he didn't like the way that the state charges ended up playing out with him getting out of jail 6 days a week. Again, there were at that time in 2007 and 2008 statutes that would have guaranteed that Acosta went to jail for years, not just that would have guaranteed that Acosta went to jail for years, not just a matter of months. So those explanations really didn't carry a lot of weight for me.
I'll tell you, watching as a prosecutor, what did you think of the latest latest victim coming out today. It's an amazing, watching her talk about what he did to her. This thing is not going away at all, is it?
It's definitely not going away, and it was incredibly emotional watching her interview today. I think this is going to feed right into the case that the Southern District of New York is going to bring. I think perhaps they will add her as a victim to their case. And it just goes to show why sex trafficking charges were so important and continue to be so important for prosecutors to bring. This is a man, Jeffrey Epstein, who simply has not been held accountable for the horrific conduct that he did. And it's time for somebody to actually say, no, 13 months in jail where you get to leave 6 out of 7 days a week just isn't sufficient.
How much hard time would you have given him in a case, knowing what you know of this case and this guy's misdeeds? How much time would you put him away for?
Yeah, I mean, I did sex trafficking cases where we gave people with far fewer victims a mandatory minimum of 10 years in prison. So I think this is something that years in prison is absolutely appropriate.
Kimberly, this does a couple things, because you and I talk about so many things in this program. Trump's personality, Trump's own rap sheet, the Access Hollywood, the women he paid off, all that behavior of his takes him back to the sleaze problem. He must be thinking, every day we're talking about Epstein, we're basically talking about Me Too.
Dude, this is 6 years ago. We went through this 6 years ago, and people voted for Trump again. Like, really? How are we here, guys? You know what I'm saying? When you think about this, all of this shit, right? And here we are 6 years later, and we're still doing it. Like, really? Really? All of this shit? You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, man. What are we fucking doing, bro?
Yes.
I mean, him, not just the movement, but him.
Right. And so he's done two things, right? He distanced himself from Epstein as someone who he did know and he did socialize with years ago. They haven't spoken in
14
some time.
times his name, his phone numbers, different phone numbers show up in Epstein's book.
Right.
And black book.
But at the same time, he demanded that Secretary Acosta go defend himself in a way, the same as he wanted to see Brett Kavanaugh defend himself against those charges. But in this case, he wanted Acosta to deny it, to defend himself, to give a reason for him to stand behind him. Because at the same time, President Trump does not like the perception that he's being pushed to do something by Democrats, by people in the media. So he wants to fight back against this. And his instinct is to back Acosta and to get Acosta to defend himself. That's what we saw today. But Acosta's biggest concern, according to folks who I talked to who are close to Republicans on the Hill and the White House, is that Republicans were not liking the job he was doing.
Yeah.
They were trying to get the president to remove him for other
pro-labor
reason because he wasn't rolling back the regulations.
Yeah. Yada, yada, yada. Dude, it's all bullshit, right? It's time to focus our efforts in breaking away from the union. Yeah, I don't know how that is. Dude, what do you keep saying, dude? So this My Music account, you keep repeating the same message like over and over and over again, boss. And you're going to have to explain yourself because you're starting to look like a weird bot. And so I'm thinking about, like, I don't know what you're fucking rambling about, but you're starting to have bot behavior, boss. Right? You know? Like, fucking snap out of that shit, bro. Don't just repeat the same fucking message like every 5 minutes or I'm gonna hide you from the chat. All right? You gotta actually, you can bring conversation to the chat if you're gonna participate, or like, or you look like bot traffic. But yeah, dude, so I mean, this, I just can't believe that 6 years ago we're still back here. You know what I'm saying? We're fucking, here we are. We're still fucking here, boss. Jesus Louises. You know what I mean? Jesus Louises. But yeah, dude, the Barry Krischer though, okay, is the fucking, I don't know. I want to do some fucking research on him. Dude, I don't know what that fucking shit is about, right? I honestly, I don't know what that shit was about. It was feeling a little QAnon. Feeling a little too QAnon for me. We're going to move on there. No offense. You're welcome to watch, but I'm tired of looking at your messages. Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. All right. Dude, it's time to get some edit mode going.
Psychosis friend down and begin again. His eyes are broken and I don't feel the same. Red, who's your lover now? Red,
thank you, guys.
red, who's it all about?
Dude, there was something else I wanted to watch, bro. Oh, shit. I didn't even get to it, dude. Dude, I just realized I didn't even get to it because of I didn't get to it because we looked at the MAGA women fighting. But I wanted to see Cenk Uygur. I want to see that Cenk Uygur and Scott Adams. You know what I'm saying? And I stopped streaming on Twitch, right? Twitch I had no ad revenue, right? It's not about giving up on Twitch. I met with the fucking CEO of Twitch, and I didn't like his attitude on political speech and what he was doing with the taking of ad revenue. So I was like, fuck you, Twitch. I'm going to go on YouTube and I'm going to build a fucking million subscriber thing. And I'm going to fucking take my wares to YouTube, right? And I feel good about it, dude. It's the best move I ever made, bro. Oh, shit. I love Twitch. Don't get me wrong. I loved Twitch when 𝗏𝗡, but I'll tell you this right now. I don't like Dan Clancy, okay? Dan Clancy is a red pillar. He's a fucking piece of shit. And I don't want to be, me and Dan Clancy, we don't really see eye to eye. So I'm not going to be fucking, I'm not going to build shit on his platform, right? Because, that's the thing about streaming, guys, that you got to realize. The thing about streaming, guys, is streaming doesn't grow you an audience, okay? Streaming on Twitch, you'll never get a fucking audience, guys. Like maybe 1 in a million. What happens is you have to build an audience outside on discovery platforms like Instagram, like TikTok, like YouTube. And then Twitch is where you can monetize every day when people come and visit you. Okay, but it doesn't actually grow you. So the thing about streaming on Twitch is if I were to get big on Twitch as a political streamer, it would be me blowing up my other platforms and then bringing those people to Twitch. And I already did that with gaming. I blew up on TikTok. And I brought like a lot of fucking money and shit to Twitch. And then afterwards, they were kind of douchey about it. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm going to go build on YouTube this time. You know what I mean? God. Let's go. Fuck that, bro. And dude, they took on Twitch, they took the ad revenue away without telling us, man. It was really shady, bro. And they still, I don't think, have brought it back. You know what I mean? But, all right. I'll fucking see you guys, though. I'm going to go, baby. Call of Duty? No, I was Fortnite. Fuck Call of Duty, dude. Dude, people who play Call of Duty are fucking weirdos. What? Did I say that out loud? Oh, maybe I did. All right. Don't mind me. Dude, let's go. I'll see you guys. Fucking tomorrow, I guess. I'm gonna go make some videos. Good night. Let's go, baby. Keep it real. We love ya. It's over. Do you need